I need to turn on the YouTube. The YouTube stream just missed out on my voting, which is crazy. That's crazy. Oh well, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. And everything. But man, is there anything to really like check out? I like, man. What do you mean? Oh. It's the AI, bro. We got a video that we could like react to and everything like that.
Out of my way, pigeon. I get Uber credits back on my rides because I am a student.
We do too.
We do too.
Drew
That's
Barrymore
crazy.
was just 9 years old while suffering from the devastating effects of addiction. Because of her Hollywood success, she spent her nights and weekends in clubs with full-grown adults who were supplying her with substances.
Hey, yo.
As if that wasn't crazy enough, her own mother was the one bringing her to these clubs and parties. With no father figure in her life, Drew had no way out of this darkness. That was until she met one man who understood her struggles on a deeper level, Keanu Reeves.
Good old
Keanu
Keanu
had
Reeves.
also been abandoned by his father. He also had dealt with the complicated life as a child actor. Therefore, he could not live in good conscience if he just watched Drew spiral down even further. And one night, while Drew was at rock bottom, Keanu made a decision that would drastically change her future. It's a miracle Drew Barrymore made it out of Hollywood alive. And this is how it happened. The Barrymore family is one of the largest acting families in entertainment history, going back more than 400 years and spanning 7 generations. The family's roots in theater started in 18th century Europe, with Thomas Haycraft Lane and Louisa Roos Lane, who were traveling actors. At that time, traveling actors would move from town to town performing plays in town halls, inns, and even churches. Essentially, wherever they could gather an audience, they would put on a show. The Barrymore name itself was chosen as a stage name by Herbert Blythe, Drew Barrymore's great-grandfather, who became known as Maurice Barrymore. Maurice moved to the United States and married Georgiana Drew, who also came from an acting family. Georgiana's father, John Drew, owned the famous Arch Street Theater in Philadelphia, which was sadly demolished in 1936. Maurice and Georgiana became the parents of 3 legendary actors, Lionel, Ethel, and John Barrymore, who became known as the Royal Family of Broadway. These siblings found major success in theater and film during the late 1800s and early 1900s. Lionel Barrymore started on Broadway before moving to Hollywood, where he acted in over 200 films, including Grand Hotel and the Dr. Kildare series. He won an Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in A Free Soul. Ethel Barrymore also started as a stage actress,
So
who
they've
later
been
acted
like-
in films and ultimately won an Academy
They've
Award
been
for her
in
performance in
this type of
None
stuff
But the
for a
Lonely
while.
Heart. John Barrymore was the most famous of the siblings. He starred in classic movies like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Dinner at 8. Unfortunately, John's son, who was also named John Drew Barrymore, had a lackluster acting career whose most notable appearance was in the TV series Gunsmoke. The family's name was almost entirely extinct from the entertainment industry, so all the pressure to keep the legacy alive fell on one innocent little girl, Drew Barrymore. Drew was born on February 22nd, 1975, and just 11 months later, she would land her first acting role in a commercial for Puppy Chow dog food.
This is a baby, and this is a baby. They both have special nutritional needs. That's why a baby should have his very own baby food, and why a puppy should have his very own puppy food.
Barrymore appeared in a couple of TV movies and shows in her early
What?
years. At around age 4, she was cast in the TV movie Suddenly Love. Then she had a small role in the horror TV movie Bogey when she was around 5. Immediately after that, she made her first feature film debut in Altered States, which was a 1980 sci-fi horror film directed by Ken Russell. Although her role was small, it opened the door for her next film, which would drastically change her life. At age 6, Drew would secure a major breakthrough acting role in the iconic film E.T. the Extraterrestrial. E.T. is about a young boy named Elliot who discovers and befriends a friendly alien stranded on Earth. Elliot and his siblings hide E.T. from the authorities and help him find a way back to his home planet. Drew Barrymore played Gertie, Elliot's younger sister. Gertie is a curious,
I didn't even
lovable
notice
character
that.
who quickly warms up to E.T. and
Wait, I remember watching this movie like so many different times. I didn't realize that was her. That's crazy.
her brother keep him a secret.
Look what I did for you. Is he a boy or a girl? He's a boy. Was he wearing any clothes? No, you can't tell. Not even Mom. Why not? because,
You know what's weird, chat? When was the last time someone has ever mentioned E.T.? E.T. was one of the most, like, phenomenon movies of all time. Like, one of the biggest movies and everything like that. And I've watched this movie countless of times. You've never seen E.T.? E.T. was a phenomenon whenever, like, when I was growing up as a kid, because it had the iconic bicycle over the moon scene. That's where this movie came from. Like, if you ever see, like, any reference to, like, someone was on a bicycle shooting up and they go over the moon, that's where this movie came from. And the story is literally basically about, like, okay, this kid has found his alien, brought it back home, and now he's trying to help the alien to go back to his home planet and everything like that. Yesterday, when talking about someone that looked like E.T., that's crazy. It's one of those movies that I've seen parts of, movies, and I plan to see, but just never did. Yeah, I've seen this movie pretty much throughout and everything. But what's funny is that, like, just like what you said, I remember bits and pieces of the movie. I don't remember it really fully and everything like that, but I do remember, like, scenes and everything. And I've seen this movie multiple different times and everything.
grown-ups can't see them. Only little kids can see 'em.
Oh, yeah, he also has his finger. Yeah, Chad, it's crazy. Like, I'm mentioning a finger. Here we go. Oh, Lord, a finger. All right, he has a finger that could heal things and everything. When you have the finger, it lights up at the tip, and then he's able to heal people with his finger. He fingers people, and they feel better, okay?
Whose performance stole the hearts of millions around the world. Not only was she adorable, but her innocence represented the joy and wonder that we need to protect and cherish for our children. And it turns out she was just as pure behind the scenes.
Now, I believed E.T. was real.
You asked the wardrobe lady if you could have a scarf for E.T.'s neck, because he was getting a cold.
In June of 1982, E.T. became an instant classic after it grossed a whopping $800 million worldwide on a $10 million budget, which made it the highest grossing film of all.
We are the Skaggs family, Matthew and Cosette, and we are owners of Jellyfish Lighting.
Okay, I don't care. I don't want...
And held that
My dad will handle the Christmas lighting, okay?
record for about a decade until it was broken by Jurassic Park. But before we dive deeper, a quick word from today's sponsor. A negative connotation, nepotism is actually a convoluted subject when you break it down. People often said that acting was in her
That was crazy I did that!
meaning that she essentially inherited this amazing window
I
of
perfectly
built off of
skipped
hard
that
work
ad.
of ancestors, which is good, but that would also cause some people to hate her because there are so many actors that won't ever get the same chances or opportunities just because she is related to the right people with the right connections. However, there is a third way to assess nepotism that most people tend to ignore, and it is the ramifications that a child faces later on in life when they are essentially forced into a life or career without having any choice. Due to the success of E.T., you could argue that she not only honored but carried the legacy of her family's name. Unfortunately, her father did not care. He was merciless, violent, and abusive
God
towards
damn.
her. Drew's earliest memory of her dad was the time he tossed her into a wall. She was 3 years old. He also held her hand over the flame of a candle, telling her that pain is imaginary. Talk about someone who was not a careerist. He was like, "I will burn this effing dynasty to the ground," Drew said. Considering her life at home was so dark, it's actually pleasant knowing she found some solace on the set
God
of E.T.
damn!
When I came onto this set, I was like, this is my family. Steven can be my dad, you can be like my mom, and you are my brothers.
Barrymore looked at director Steven Spielberg as a father figure. She says that he is the first person that ever cared about her.
That's
We
good.
love each other. I go over to his house and we play games and we see each other a lot and we're still...
But it's not like Drake and Millie Bobby Brown, right? I hope. No, I think Steven Spielberg is Steven Spielberg actually like a good guy? Steven... I would not think that anything he has... I don't think he's ever done anything weird. I think he's a genuine good guy that actually loved making like movies and stuff. And everything. And some people have that mentality. Like, you know, like if you're like a father figure that notices that like you like a kid has not like done very well, they try to be like a father figure to them in anything. Personal life, political views. Yeah, he's never done anything. Yeah, he's one of the most well-known directors out there, probably. Yeah, if he's like if there's no report on it, then most likely either he's hiding it very well, which I highly doubt that, or he's actually a genuinely good guy. He's a genuine good guy. Bro has this. He got diagnosed with dyslexia at the age of 60. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. But I mean, yeah, he's literally one of the best well-known actors. And in fact, I think he started filming all of his movies. He's one of the few people that was starting off with a Super 8 camera and everything. So
Best friend.
Yeah,
he's probably a good fucking guy.
Now, some people might think it could have done additional damage that Spielberg was kind of like a father figure, but not an actual father. So once it was time for him to move on with his career, he wouldn't be able to provide or care for her like he was when she was on the set of E.T. But Drew says this was not the case.
But isn't it sad when you look back at it? You had to look towards Steven Spielberg, the producer or director of the movie, for a father figure.
What? Who better?
Is it a good thing?
Yeah, it is a great thing. And by the way,
but didn't it crush you when he wasn't available to you? When Steven Spielberg becomes your father figure and he's not really your father, and then you go, where's Steven? I need him.
He was never unavailable to me.
After E.T., her child acting career skyrocketed. Steven then took Drew to Saturday Night Live, in which she became the youngest host in the show's history.
Relax, kid. You're gonna be just fine tonight.
Hey, come on, can I get you a glass of milk, honey?
Milk? I'm a Barrymore. Get me a drink and make it a double.
If only they knew that get me a drink and make it a double wasn't exactly a joke. Sadly, at just 9 years old, Drew Barrymore's battle with addiction had begun. Her mother Jade got divorced from Drew's father and started solo parenting, which led to her mother taking Drew to the famous New York nightclub Studio 54. This club was highly exclusive, reserved for Hollywood elites to indulge in substances and animalistic fantasies. From the age of 8, Drew called herself a party girl, going out with her mother and her mother's friends to up to 5 times a week. I had a mom, but she was more like my best friend, said Barrymore.
What?
She was like, do you want to go to school and get bullied all day, or do you want to go to Studio 54? And I was like, yes, absolutely. In Drew's 1990 book called Little Girl Lost, she describes what it was like to go to Studio 54, and there was nothing as invigorating as walking in and being engulfed by the thud of blasting music and the swirl of flashing lights. It was Disneyland for adults, only I got to be a part of it. We went out pretty regularly.
How old was she when she went into this? Bro, I don't understand, like, certain parents. I know, like, I get it. Being a parent is difficult. And they have no excuse. They had money. They were able to hire a babysitter. They were able to they probably had family members that they could just, hey, watch the kids very quickly. I'm going to go out and get freaking wasted. This is like some Diddy shit.
Once a week and other times up to 5. But nothing was ever enough for me. Being the youngest person at every party spoiled me. People treated me like a little toy, always telling me how cute I was, patting me on the head, or giving me a playful squeeze. However, since I was dependent on my mom, I couldn't always go when I wanted, which was all the time.
Well, I don't expect Hollywood parents to make smart decisions. There are some parents that believe that, like, when they have a kid, that kid will be the golden child. And my dad's parents were like that. Like, my dad wanted to go into art and everything. He either wanted to be an artist, photographer, or someone in nature documentaries. Like, you know, someone who would go out there and show off, like, plants and animals and stuff like that. But his father thought that, like, he was smart. He was smart enough to where, like, he wanted to get him into making him some money. So that's where my dad's psychology degree came into play and everything. He has a degree, but he doesn't have a job in that degree and everything like that. So he got other types of degrees. Like, he got his art degree later on in life. Then he got jobs in technology and everything like that. And then he's done other things. Then he got a degree in graphic design, a license in everything. Then he got a license in photography and everything like that. So there are parents that believe that their kid will become the golden child. And I've met women that are, in chat, I know I talk about how I don't get any women, but from my many times that I've had interactions, I had a woman that told me that, like, don't you want to have a kid that would make money for you? And when I hear stuff like that, I kind of feel bad. because that kid did not make the decision to come into this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you made the decision to literally go and just kind of brought a life into the world, okay? And you brought the life into the world, and they don't have a directive. When they come out of the womb, they don't have a directive. They are mindless, and they are raised, and you have to raise them to understand, like, you know, what goes on in the world, how to be a good person, and just simply not get into trouble. You can't just expect them to make lots of money for you, because if you do that, that kid might end up being one of the worst people that you could ever imagine. Think about, like, people like 50 Cent. 50 Cent is having this problem right now with their kid, and, you know, 50 Cent made his own money, and he brought a kid into the world. He feels horrible because this kid is very entitled, to where he thinks, oh, I am 50 Cent's son. I don't gotta do everything. I deserve everything myself. And 50 Cent is furious. He feels terrible as a father that, like, he can't do stuff like that and everything. Or just, even as just simple things, just like, you expose them at a very young age and everything. Like, you expose them to a life that you think it's normal, and then you don't realize how bad of a life that truly is. Imagine being exposed to bar life at such a young age and everything. Like, I'm glad that I got exposed to it at the age I was supposed to be, and then I realized it was terrible. It was terrible that, like, people would use bars in a way to not necessarily social, but to give themselves a reason to cope with their terrible lives and everything. It's very sad to see and all that. Like, I mean, like, being social and everything and drinking, sure, that's fine, but I'm sad. I feel sad when people be in this, like, I guess, bizarre life that they're in, and then they kind of have to, like, they feel like drugs and drinking is the solution to their problems.
This led to numerous arguments. I'd want
like, drinking is not your solution to anxiety.
I'd storm out anyway.
Cocaine is not your solution for having a bad day.
To convince grown
not even, like, sober stuff, like shopping and shit. People shop to feel better.
Me the bottle. I'm sure he thought it was cute to give a little kid a sip of beer, but I quickly downed the remainder of his bottle. Hey, I said a sip, he said, taking the empty from me. Sorry, I shrugged coyly. That's okay. You know, you just gave me my first beer, I said. Really? He said. Cool.
Well, I had grown up very fast, and it's not very normal to see a 9-year-old at a big Hollywood party drinking. And, it looks a little weird, and people were laughing and just saying, you know, I dare you to do this, and I did.
The only thing more popular than me is
9, chat. Bro was 9 years old drinking Coronas.
And I got really drunk, and it was such a scary, frightening feeling, yet it was such an escape from everything else in the world that I had a very liking to it.
It's important to know that Jade did not encourage, nor did she really know that Drew was drinking alcohol, because Drew did everything she could to hide it. Then again, she wasn't really supervising Drew either. Like, what do you expect to happen when you bring a kid to bars and parties surrounded by adults multiple nights per week? Eventually, they're gonna get curious and want to try that drink that every adult around them is indulging in.
So you started drinking at 9? Mm-hmm. To prove a point, or to feel good, or to get drunk, or what?
Well, I didn't really know. I mean, when I was 8, I had had 2 glasses of champagne, and boom, I was like tipsy and, you know, bubbly and the life of the party, and I felt so good. All my problem had seemed, you know, to disappear for that hour that I was out of it, and I didn't realize that until I was 9 and I started casually drinking. And realized,
where would you get alcohol from at 9?
Parties, friends, bars, clubs.
What were you doing at bars at 9?
A lot of the time it was for parties that I was invited to. A lot of the time I would walk up and they would be like, oh, it's little Drew Barrymore. Come right in, good publicity, you know?
Even though Drew was excited to participate in the adult party scene, even she knew something was wrong with her circumstances. She was desperate for more strong male figures in her life, and luckily in 1986, she would meet one, and his name was Keanu Reeves. Drew landed a lead role in a made-for-television Christmas musical called Babes in Toyland alongside Keanu.
Obscure masterpiece, Babes in Toyland.
Sometimes obscurity's good, but there was a good heart in that piece.
We had so much fun making it.
It was crazy. And Richard Mulligan, Jill Sholin.
Babes in Toyland was about a young girl named Lisa who was transported to Toyland, a magical place under threat from the villainous Barnaby Barnacle. With the help of her new friends, Lisa goes on an adventure to save Toyland and restore holiday cheer. The movie received largely negative reviews, but Drew is grateful this film brought her and Keanu together.
Feel like I
Bro, that's a crazy plot.
Years of the people that I
but then again, we had movies like Spy Kids.
Always the kind,
still a goated movie series.
Hardworking, lovely examples. You are so that.
I don't know. That's kind of you to say that. Kind of you to say. I mean, I love what I do, right? I mean, I love acting. I like rolling up the sleeves. I like going to work, and we ain't doctors saving lives, you know? But we can change lives. We can help, you know?
Now, Keanu is extremely humble. He doesn't take credit for the compliment and tries to just move past it and start talking about acting. But Drew wasn't complimenting him about his acting. And he knew that. He knew that she was talking about him being a positive role model for her, who at the time was a troubled child.
Bro, this is going to add to like
Drew
everything that
recognizing
Keanu has
could
done
be a
to be a
positive
good
figure
guy
in her life. They had no means of remaining in contact. But little did she know he would be there for her again at her lowest moment. Drew's alcohol use was not exclusive to party nights out with her mom. After school and on weekends with friends, she did everything she could to get loaded. By the time Drew was 11, she and the oldest boy had graduated from what they considered to be boring childish games to more mature activities, like raiding his parents' liquor supply and drinking themselves into a stupor that had them sleeping away the better part of the next day. By 12, they added pot smoking and were getting stoned as often.
She was crossfaded. Oh my god. How do they do? She went through it. She went through it, her childhood. She went through getting thrown on a wall, to being exposed to bars, to now just doing everything
as possible. Drew even experimented with cocaine at age 12.
Probably was one night. I usually got to a point where I couldn't do anymore, or I didn't want anymore. Usually I stopped after a while. But one night I just kept going and going and going, and nothing, you know, I was partying for like 10 hours straight, or 12, 15 hours straight, and I just didn't stop, and I just like went black for a long time, and it was really scary, and I became a blackout drinker.
Naturally, you're probably wondering, how did it get this bad? Where was her mother? And how was Drew even able to hide this from her? Well, you have to remember that it was the 80s, where it wasn't uncommon for children, even as young as 8, to roam about in their neighborhoods with friends all day and return home in the evening. They had more independence, but instead of playing on the playground or riding bikes, Drew was smoking cigarettes and drinking beer, and Jade was not supervising or guiding her.
The CIA has particular skills in developing relationships. Life is all about relationships.
And where were you when she was going to parties and bars at 9?
I was never with her at bars at 9, but I would go with her to parties. There were a lot of industry functions and then private social/business functions. And when we got there, we would stay together for time. Then she would go her way and I would go my way. And not knowing about the problem, I was not as scrutinizing as I should have been.
You just decided to just let her have some space?
Yes.
9 or 10, that's exactly the age where you need some guidance, some definition, you don't need a parent to back off and give you space at 9 or 10, especially if you were where Drew was at that time.
Part of it was the fact that I didn't have a dad. I felt like my mom was abandoning me because she was always off at work.
And to get a glimpse at what lying to her mother might look like, here is Drew at 12 years old on national television using her charm to lie to Joan Rivers about her partying at the Helena nightclub.
So, gonna be 12, but you go out late at night. I saw you, Drew Barrymore, cha-cha-cha, at Helena's at like midnight.
Really? Oh, okay. Now see, there's an explanation. Okay. See, Helena See, I really don't go to clubs. I mean, people think, oh yeah, she's like she goes out every night. That is not true. See, Helena is my godmother, so I like to visit her every once in a while. Very seldom, but I mean.
Anthony Kiedis, lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, wrote about a time seeing a 14-year-old Drew Barrymore at Studio 54. I did a double take when I saw 14-year-old Drew Barrymore at the bar, drinking with the Bukowski crowd. She was adorable, spoke with a potty mouth, and carried on as if she were in her 20s. I was straining to approach her but backed off. I'd been in enough trouble. The next time I looked, she was gone. A couple nights later, she reappeared in the same spot at the middle of the bar, entertaining the bartender. I pulled the trigger this time, and whatever I had to say, she bought. Anthony was 27 years old at the time, seemingly admitting to fantasizing about a 14-year-old. And if you think that might be a stretch, in his 2004 biography, he told a story about sleeping with a girl who confessed to him that she was 14 years old the next day. Then he admitted to sleeping with her one more time after.
Chat, this just keeps getting worse. This is getting worse. Oh my! Oh my! Bro, she was brought into the world in a very messed up time.
After knowing her age, seemingly trapped in an endless cycle of drug addiction and surrounded by predators, all while trying to navigate the pressures of fame, working a full-time job, going to school, and thinking her mother doesn't care about her, Drew felt all of her problems would go away if she just did not wake up one morning. And at age 13, she attempted to make that her reality, but luckily, she was unsuccessful. Her mother recalled the incident saying, "She told me in confidence that it was nothing but a bid for attention," Jade says scornfully. Jade sent her daughter to an 18-month stint in a mental health facility in Van Nuys, California, where she was treated for addiction.
And when you go through those two doors, you do not come out. And I was there for a year and a half. I hated it. I kicked, I screamed. One minute you're at movie premieres and clubbing, and the next minute you're in a full-blown institution.
Drew's treatment was tough. She had to follow a strict, military-like routine. She had to do her schooling, then attend group therapy, and one-on-one therapy sessions. But as a rambunctious child, she could not help but act out.
And you couldn't mess around in there, and if you did, you would get thrown either in the padded room or get put in stretcher restraints and tied up.
Why were you so bad that you had to go in the padded room?
I grew up, you know, with like the Go-Go's and Wendy O. Williams and Blondie and all these like badass chicks, and I just sort of would like, you know, channel my inner riot girl. And I, you know, some days it was really funny. I would rile up all the girls and I'd be like, listen, this place, these people don't care about you. Let's fucking show them, all right, everybody. I would totally rile the entire joint up.
At first, Drew hated that her freedom had been stripped away from her, but then she gradually started to come around to the idea that she was getting the help that she desperately needed. From there, she began to confront her addictive behaviors and her underlying childhood trauma. It was the institution that suggested she legally separate from her mother and be declared an adult at 14. Barrymore says the experts there believe that if she were to go back out into the world, she'd be better off on her own. Just at the age most kids become freshmen in high school, Drew was living on her own in LA as a 14-year-old legal adult.
When I first lived in my...
Jesus Christ, I've never experienced anything like that. God damn, chat, you always gotta appreciate the life that you always live in. Because if you don't, I mean, you'll never understand the virality of being spoiled. Chat, I need a breather from this. You're gonna watch that man right there. You watch that man. I'm gonna go downstairs and I'm gonna take a lap. Okay, that took long. That took longer than normal. That took longer than normal, actually. But I gotta order my DoorDash right here. Pay. I'm gonna do. Where is it? Okay, let me see here. There we go. I agree. Everything. Alright, just add the card to the wallet. Card has been added to the wallet. Cool. Dude, card verification? What the fuck? Alright, there we go. Alright, cool. Now it's been added. God damn it. Not now. There we go. There we go. Alright. Chat, we're getting ramen. We're getting ramen. I'll walk downstairs. I told my brother either I'm getting Chipotle or ramen. My brother almost got mad at me when I said Chipotle. So I'm getting ramen. Alrighty. There we go. Let's see, let me also document that too. Alright, cool. What the hell is bro listening to?
Apartment that I was so scared in. The truth was is that I would let the laundry and dishes and everything pile up. I didn't know how to clean. But this was where I learned how to take care of myself. You know, the books were the school, and this was like the domestic journey of learning how to live on your own. Kids don't know how to take care of themselves until you teach them.
Drew had incredible resilience. Unfortunately, word had spread throughout the industry that she was a drug-addicted lost cause, and nobody wanted to hire her.
I was listening to Scott the Waz's vids for the past 13 hours. How TF did it make me survive work today?
You were listening to Scott the Waz vids for the past 13 hours. I have no idea. See, I only watch this creator that gets me through like my video editing and stuff. Some of you guys may know this guy. Some of you guys, but I listen to this guy. I listen to this guy right here, James Janney. Incredible documentary channel. Like if you ever wanted to like learn something that's happened, like for example, the crypto scam that's bigger than like Bernie Madoff. Good video. The stock investment of GME, GameStop, as well as apparently this one's the Bed Bath & Beyond one. Like well-made constructed documentaries. That's what I'd be listening to. So Scott the Waz, that's crazy. How you doing there, Pedro?
Damaged goods, and I, sadly, understood that. Drew remained on the straight and narrow for 6 months, working at a coffee shop and trying to assimilate back into the real world. Sadly, she slipped back to her old ways.
Right, and on my 6th-month day, I celebrated by getting loaded. Yeah, really, way to go, Drew. I got loaded that time because I wasn't doing it for myself at all. I was doing it to like, not really impress everybody, but it had gotten out months before that I had a problem, and it was on the cover of the tabloids and everything. And I was so sick of hearing about it, I thought, okay, I'll just prove it to them, and I'll shut them up, and I'll do this. So when I was staying sober that time, I was doing it for everybody else.
Yeah.
And you just can't stay sober that way because you have to want it for yourself.
Drew seemingly accepted that her future was over. She would just live the rest of her life looking for her next high, and she had to, because the only way she could mask her shame was through drugs and alcohol. And although he is not a man of many words, Keanu Reeves understood Drew on a deeper level. Keanu's father, Samuel Reeves, struggled with substance abuse. He was in and out of prison for selling heroin until he ultimately abandoned his family when Keanu was just 3 years old. From there, he had various different men in and out of his life while his mother was dating. He lacked a father figure, just like Drew. Additionally, he was kind of an outcast in Hollywood like Drew. Early in his career, Keanu's agents told him that his name was too ethnic, which led to him temporarily.
The 290 horsepower Kia K5 GT. Powerful from every angle. Kia, movement that
changing his name to KC or Casey Reeves. Sure, he did eventually find success on the big screen, but his personal life did not get easier. In 1993, he lost his best friend and fellow actor River Phoenix. In 99, he lost what would have been his one and only child after the baby was stillborn 8 months into his girlfriend's pregnancy. Although he and his girlfriend separated, they remained good friends, and she tragically passed away in a car accident less than 2 years after they lost their child. Keanu had every reason to be spiteful, angry at the world, and spiral into darkness. And despite all of these tragedies that weren't his fault, he somehow remained humble, kind, and caring for others. Although he gets praised for gifting his stunt crew custom Rolexes, gifting motorcycles to fellow cast members, or taking multi-million-dollar pay cuts to save films, he shows his true character through small acts of kindness, like showing up to his fans' weddings, giving his seat up to a woman on the subway, spending time with homeless people on the street, or taking time to speak with and listen to his young fans. So while seeing Drew at her lowest moment, he knew it was time for him to do something. On her 16th birthday, while Drew was in the club partying, Keanu Reeves tapped her on the shoulder. He was about to change her life.
I was at this club, and it was my 16th birthday, and you came in, and you walked in, and you grabbed my hand, and you took me outside. You put me on your motorcycle.
Oh, my.
And you took me on the ride of my life, and I was so free. I was such a free human being. It was just this moment where I just remember loving life. I hold it so dear because the older we get, the harder it is to get to that feeling.
Keanu and Drew raced through Los Angeles on a motorcycle, giving her the feeling of freedom and bliss while being protected by someone she knew genuinely cared about her.
The reason I love your reputation so much is because I want to live my life by that. Is to be a good person, like at my job, with my kids, with my friends, in no such order. But there's a problem I have.
She has kids now?
No, rebellion is good.
She's not taking her kids to the bars, right?
You can't just kick out rebellion. Rebellion is usually a thoughtful gesture.
Even though it feels so impulsive?
Yeah, but it feels good.
Yes, it does!
And if you're barking and, you know, it depends on what you do with your bite.
Drew saw life in a whole different perspective. She realized that giving in to her addictions is not rebellion. That is surrender. Alcohol and partying was tying her down, not freeing her. Keanu was living proof that you can overcome your trauma. And after that night with him, she had to ask herself, am I going to get back into acting and get my life together?
And I had to ask myself, like, did I really want to fight and prove to myself that I wanted to be here? And the answer was a really genuine yes. Like, it was my love. It was my passion. It's what my family has done since the silent films and theater and into the talkies. Like, I feel a genetic cosmic pull, and I love storytelling, and I love
the story's already deep enough.
And that was a really cool revelation for me, that I love what I do and I'm not doing it for anyone else or for the wrong reasons.
From there, Drew slowly started to rebuild her acting career, landing a role in the film Poison Ivy at age 17. Although the movie wasn't a blockbuster hit, it proved she could focus, stay clean, and work in the industry. Many of her roles for the next few years were smaller, lesser-known films. She focused a lot more on producing and writing, seeing as working behind the scenes was more manageable and creatively stimulating for her. And whenever times got tough, she thought back to people like Keanu.
Until now, we have both had the privilege and fortune to keep going.
Yeah.
And what a gift and a blessing that is.
Yeah.
Drew went on to have a spectacular career, landing prominent roles in blockbuster hits like Batman Forever, the horror classic Scream, Never Been Kissed, Donnie Darko, Charlie's Angels, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, 50 First Dates, Fever Pitch, and countless other hits.
She was in
2009, she delivered one of her
movies,
most praised performances in the HBO film Grey Gardens, earning a Golden Globe Award and a Screen Actors Guild Award. This highlighted her versatility and growth as an actress over her 30-year Hollywood career. Drew continues working in front and behind the camera, but has ultimately settled into becoming a full-time mother and talk show host with her very own show called The Drew Barrymore Show, which is currently on its 5th season. Now, there are many factors that led to Drew surviving the depths of addiction and the ramifications of a terrible childhood. And let's not minimize the lifetime of hard work that she put in to overcome her setbacks. But Keanu's actions started a butterfly effect of her becoming the prosperous and gracious person we know today. You never know what somebody else is going through. And even if you think you do, simply the smallest act of virtue can drastically change the outcome of their future. So next time you have a chance to act, ask yourself, what would Keanu Reeves do?
Jesus Christ. Keanu is never going to do anything terrible at this rate. Bro is never going to do anything bad, and we are not. Bro, what is my timeline right now? The Franklin conspiracy, satanic. What? Cults. Oh, this is what happens when I just look up documentaries and stuff like that. Now I'm getting like all these investing documentaries, hacking documentaries. What? AI cults. AI cults is insane. 43 students vanished, the most vile villain ever in comics. The most vile villain in comics. What has this bro done? Ghostface identifying confirmed. Wait, we now know who Ghostface is? Like which Ghostface it is?
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Dynasty back with some more Mortal Kombat 1. Ghostface is joining the MK1 roster officially tomorrow. If you do have the Combat Pack 2 Chaos Reigns DLC expansion pack. If you don't, you gotta wait another week. But in today's video, a day removed from the launch of Ghostface, we got confirmation on who exactly is behind the mask. If you guys know, we've been speculating for a while now that it's more than likely Billy Loomis, the OG Ghostface from the first Scream movie, and thankfully courtesy of gameplay provided by Super, and also an official PlayStation blog post breaking down everything Ghostface. I can now officially confirm that Ghostface is indeed Billy Loomis, the OG Ghostface from the first Scream movie.
That's crazy.
You can actually see his full face scan in the fatal blow. Speaking of Ghostface, we also now have confirmation that you can actually unlock the Ghostface announcer voice 100% for free by simply reaching the top 5% in the upcoming Towers of Time race against...
Oh, that's such a scam. You got to be in the top 5% of Race Against Time. Oh, God. That's so stupid. Why can't I... Okay, I get it. Like, yeah, something fun. That's how you're going to get people to play the game as well. Welcome back, Casual. You got to be in the top 5% in order for you to get the Ghostface announcer, bro. I would love the Ghostface announcer.
Time from November 19th to the 2nd, and also kicking off tomorrow. You guys may or may not remember this from a few days ago. We first discussed this. You're getting not one.
That means that forces people to like play the game, but I guess that's
dedicated
how you do
to
it.
purple palettes for Sub-Zero Cameo Fighter and Frost Cameo Fighter. That goes live tomorrow, but the FAQ page just went live a couple hours ago. So 3 things of note to discuss. If you're excited for Ghostface dropping tomorrow morning, do your boy a solid. It takes you a second. Please drop a like on the video. Without you, these MK videos do not happen. And with that said, well, let's talk about Billy Loomis being the Ghostface that we get in Mortal Kombat 1. Now, the official PlayStation account came out and said this a few hours ago. Scream's Billy Loomis is behind one Ghostface mask in Mortal Kombat 1. So, who's behind the other? NetherRealm discusses the horror collab available starting November 19th. Now, when you actually click the link and open up the PlayStation blog post article, it reads, how NetherRealm makes Ghostface work in the world of Mortal Kombat 1. Serial killer Billy Loomis joins a mysterious partner as Scream's iconic killer starting November 19th. Funny enough, this Sony article makes it seem like we don't already have confirmation that Kira and Cobra, not one, two partners, will be helping Billy Loomis, Ghostface, and MK1. Now, if you need some more confirmation because the initial tweet wasn't enough, when reading the actual article, which is pretty much a full breakdown of everything Ghostface has to offer, if you watched the Combat Cast from a couple of days ago, trust me, you're not missing out whatsoever, because I think 16-Bit actually explained this far better than the combat designer Joe Epstein actually did in text, my personal opinion. But this excerpt on the very bottom of this paragraph below, Ghostface going Rambo here, says, and our canon Ghostface for these moments is none other than Billy Loomis, one of the Ghostface killers from the original Scream film. So there is your confirmation. Unfortunately, it's not Stu, aka Matthew Lillard, aka Shaggy in Mortal Kombat, but hey, I think Billy Loomis is pretty awesome, especially when you consider that when Ghostface is being fatal blowed, you could see 100% this is Skeet Ulrich's face scan, aka Billy Loomis from the first Scream movie. The hair is the same, the face is the same again. Not sure if they actually scan.
This bold marketer kickstarted their...
God, these ads are going to go crazy. And I do think it's kind of crazy that now the yellow line is now like
Ulrich, the actor, but it looks just like him. So I think they did a pretty damn good job. Now, I believe the screenshots, courtesy of Ice Cream via Super. I think Super's posted like 10 minutes of Ghostface in action, actually gave also a quick review. So if you want to see some more Ghostface, go to Super's channel because he's got some more gameplay for you over there. Also, making our way to the next topic, like I mentioned, Race Against Time gives you access to Ghostface announcer voice. The official Mortal Kombat socials came out and shared this. The towers are no longer safe. Earn brand new rewards, including the Ghostface announcer, when the Towers of Time refresh tomorrow. Hashtag MK1. So there you go. I understand, though it's free, it's gonna be a grind, but you know, sometimes it's worth grinding. So in case you don't know how this works, essentially, for every Towers of Time you do from the date of the 19th of November up until December 2nd, that score is going to be compiled into an overall score. Then that score will be compared up against essentially everybody on the leaderboards that ever played a Towers of Time from these dates. So I know it's not the easiest thing to get done, but I promise you it's possible. So you might want to take advantage of this. And who knows, maybe sometime down the line, Ghostface's announcer voice will be up for grabs for $5 to $10. But you want to get it for free, at least you now know if you grind a little bit, you can get that done. So pretty awesome stuff. Crazy to see that weeks after Inner Loco confirmed we were getting a Ghostface announcer voice, it's finally here. Now, the final topic of the day, again, are the Twitch drops that we talked about over the weekend. The official Mortal Kombat socials.
Yeah, I'd rather just grab it with my points,
all
honestly.
new Mortal Kombat 1 looks available exclusively.
But then again, like, I guess I understand why they're doing it. I mean, they want people to play the game. They want to play the online game and everything. And yes, I understand and everything like that. But it would have been better just to, like, have it as, like, a separate DLC. Or just straight up with my Ghostface and everything, and we get to decide and everything like that. I don't like it.
Through Twitch drops, details here. I'll go ahead and have this linked in the description of this video, so you guys can get your WB Games account linked to your Twitch, so you can start participating in these Twitch drops. And the big takeaway from this is it's only going to take you 2 hours and 15 minutes, according to the FAQ page. You can see here I have it highlighted. If you've linked your WB Games and Twitch accounts and have watched a live stream from any streamer with Mortal Kombat 1 Twitch drops enabled, you'll receive in-game cosmetics for 2 different cameo fighters every 45 minutes of watch time up to 2 hours and 15 minutes total. And again, if you missed it, it's 2 purple skins for cameo fighters, Frost and Sub-Zero, which I think look pretty damn cool. And again, this kicks off tomorrow up until the 26th of November. So if you're a fan of the color purple, you can get some purple for those cameos absolutely for free.
If Isaac was playing,
by
yeah, you would be
watching
okay with
Twitch
this.
streamer with Twitch drops playing MK1 for about a week for 2 hours. So there you go. Pretty simple, pretty easy. That's essentially
Yeah, if
everything
you watch,
of
if
note
you
so
literally watch my
far
Twitch
in
stream, you're gonna
regards
get the
to
skin,
Ghostface in
regardless.
Mortal Kombat 1. Still waiting on the Ghostface official bio and also the official, I guess you could say, time they're going to be updating Mortal Kombat 1 tomorrow. I'd assume probably around 10 a.m. Central Time, and give or take. Usually it's pretty early, so that's kind of what I'm basing it off of. But I'm sure in the next few hours, they're going to share the bio for Ghostface, that brutality they promised us on Thursday, I want to say. And obviously, there's a bunch of other Ghostface stuff. I'm sure that will be dropping from other content creators who got that exclusive access, like Super did, to Ghostface for an hour before he officially launches tomorrow if you do have the Combat Pack 2 DLC. But guys,
You wish it was main roster. Yeah, they're figuring out every way. They're figuring out every way to get people back onto playing this game, which is crazy. He became Batman in real life. Bro, what? Bro really just said he's trying to be Batman in real life right now? Bro is trying to be Batman? You know what? I'm about to see this. Because, yeah, chat, at this point, I'm just stalling. Stalling, waiting for food. I want to see how to become Batman.
Echo Park
How does one become Batman?
Guests no payments for 90 days.
Chat, imagine if I just did a stream to where every 30 days I have to be... Or no, like, for 30 days I gotta work out like Batman. It would make sense as someone being a massive nerd and everything.
Months ago, I dropped a video where I set out with one goal, and that was to recreate Batman's entire workout from Batman v Superman. And since then, I've done Daredevil, Deathstroke, and even Green Arrow.
Oh,
so
that's
around
crazy.
Halloween time, more specifically,
Thursday, October 31st.
I thought that it was long overdue, that I finally become the Dark Knight himself in real life. I'm going to have to complete his training, create his gadgets, hit these rooftops, and even, yes, hit the sewers to locate and investigate an abandoned building hidden deep within a forest. Because I'm fully determined to become the Batman, and that requires a very eventful return to Arkham.
crazy.
And yes, I say return because you guys will be able to witness the full documentation of my first trip to Arkham included with this one, where I had to make a daring escape from GCPD. So I think it's time for the Dark Knight to rise again.
This dude got a lot of time in his hands. Why is it?
I completely botched this mask trying to do a Wolverine cosplay. But anyway, I made a community post just last week about this upcoming video, and some of you guys are funny as hell. Like, some of these comments say, Black Man begins. You are Black Man. Rise of the Dark Man. The Black Man rises. The Black Knight. These are just to name a few. I actually couldn't stop laughing. So 3 things in particular that we're gonna be mostly focusing on. Strength, gadget crafting, and parkour/agility. Now, all 3 of these things are important if you even think of hitting these streets. So for the gadgets, let me check on my super prosperous bank account. Oh shit. Well, since Bruce Wayne is a legit billionaire and I seem to have some bankruptcy issues, we're gonna have to take a bit more of an absolute approach for this one. Now, the new Absolute Batman run just dropped, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's kinda gas. I mean, bro was only born a year before me, he also broke his shit, he also an engineering major. I mean, what's not to appreciate here? He's literally me for real, like. So the main gadgets I want to create this video are batarangs, gauntlets, and get my hands on a zipline. So here I managed to make a workout plan.
Good luck
inspired
on the
by
grappling
both
hook.
comics and the media. Dumbbell bench press, deadlift, weighted pull-ups, tire pulls, upside down plate hold, clean and jerk, and tire slings. So while I work on this, why don't we go get started on the batarangs? First, I'll need some metal to make these out of, and thankfully enough, for a small fee of $10, Lowe's sells 16 gauge steel with dimensions of 18 inches long and 6 inches wide, which is all I need to create about 4 of these things. Next, I needed to create a design. I scoured the internet and I really wanted to make a hybrid that lied somewhere between the Dark Knight logo and the Batman vs Superman logo. So I found the Red Hood's logo from Arkham Knight and repurposed it to create our batarang model. So now it was time for the tracing and cutting part. I needed to divide the steel into 4 parts and then then begin tracing out the metal with the battering outline. A fun 10 minutes later, I already had completed one. So now it was a matter of tracing this one onto the other metal surfaces, and now we had created 4. Finally, I sharpened the edges with the angle grinder, and now we have achieved Gadget 1 battering. Now before I go test these, let's see how the Bat Family training session is. I managed to find a couple homeless kids.
Now see, I gotta become the Bat of Chicago. Now you see Chicago's under attack by none other than King Von, so I had to assemble some recruits. We got Alfred, we got Dick Gray Matter, D1 acrobat, he could do flips on it and everything. King Von's dead, bro. Fuck. Alright guys, NBA Youngboy is back out here on the street.
What is
Only
happening?
Only 3 men can defend BR. We got Alfred.
So just like Batman from Batman v Superman, he was doing some tire pulls. So what better way to start off these trials than with some tire pulls?
Oh my God. I don't know if I can even do one.
Bro, this is why Alfred's the GOAT, bro. Like, alright, come on, King Gray Matter. Come on.
Is that the
bro, this is why whenever she sent you the video, she giggled when she slipped it back in.
Bro, nah.
Now in my previous video, I did this using strictly a 200-pound tire. But as I promised, this video aims to up the stakes. So this time, not only are we going to be doing tire pulls, we're going to increase the weight each time. First will be with 200 pounds, then 250, and then lastly 300 pounds. So let's see how the Temu Bat Family fares against these odds.
Run that, bro, Dick! He's selling this shit anyway.
You're watching a toothbrush play Billie Eilish. But did you know that there's a YouTube Music app where you can also listen?
Boy, Alfred is doing it. Oh shit.
This is why your parents died at the circus. They were clowns. Attaboy. No, honestly, yeah, we'll give you a partial. We'll give you partial credit. We'll give you partial credit.
I mean, that's 300 pounds right there.
Bro, I do this every night. Yes, I do. Bro, do you know the amount of BBWs I had to beat, bro? They all weigh this much. Just pull it, bro. Remember when my parents died? Go. Bro, dude, come on. Nigga, this is 300 pounds. And? What is my body weight? That's like, it's the same! Bro, Alfred put in more work than you, bro. Look at how big Alfred is, bro. No, Alfred, we're a family, bro. Let's grab it in, bro. Grab it in. Come on, let's help Dick stroke this. Yeah, there we go. Oh, shit. The power of family, guys.
So that went pretty well, more or less. But it looks like only me and Alfred will be qualifying to hit the streets. I'm afraid to take Dick Gray Matter out. He might really get messed up by these goons. So the next workout on the list that we're going to be knocking out are weighted pull-ups. Now in the movie, Bruce Wayne was doing this with 180 pounds strapped to his meat. So let's see if I and the rest of the Bat Family can fare against this trial.
I can't even do one of those.
What is that? Come on, Alfred. Oh.
I can't even do that with normal weight.
Come on, just pull up. Bro, what are you? Up! It's not happening, bro. What are you? Fuck. Ah! Hey, yo, grab this weight drop, my boy.
Yeah, Dick Gray Matter's getting taken back to the orphanage. But pull-ups, done. So let's take a break and go see how these batterings came out. So I'm gonna test these further later, only because I plan to use these in conjunction with another gadget I'm going to create, and that is the zip line. So all I would need for this is a pulley, which I already had, and some kind of cable or rope. So I checked Amazon for a pretty strong roach, and I found that it could support something about 600 pounds, for only $6. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, and you're probably correct. Why would anyone entrust their lives in a $6 rope? So I think it's only appropriate to show you guys how that ended. So I needed to find 2 points to connect this rope to, and thankfully there were 2 fully developed trees out in my front yard for me to use. So after climbing a tree and setting everything up, it was time to test what I like to call a zipline beta.
Oh shit!
You need more attention.
I was kind of holding on to it for a solid minute there. Yeah. That low-key kind of worked. Okay.
So at this point, I thought that we could make this work. I mean, I traveled some type of distance, but I was trying to look for a higher point due to the amount that I was dipping to the ground.
You know what we do need? We need height.
I needed to get much higher. So, pause. I didn't actually record the bit where I ended up attempting the chimney, so I'm just gonna show you the aftermath.
I just tried to zip line from that chimney. We didn't capture it, but bro, this shit fucking broke. This was a $6 rope. I should have known better. Guys, don't trust Temu. They're gonna kill you.
Fuck these Temu ass ropes trying to kill me. They want Batman to die on year 0. That's not gonna happen. So after doing some research, I found out that zip lines are made using metal cable. So steel, aluminum, anything on the list above. That might have been common sense. I did not think about that. Actually, no, I was trying to go as cheap as possible. So I probably knew that, I just didn't care. So going back to Amazon, I found a 100-foot steel cable for a small fee of $40. So while I ordered that and waited for it to arrive, I think we should get back to the next part of our Batman strength training. So I found this panel of Batman hanging upside down, holding 4 plates in his hands, and I was really tempted to try that. So I had Alfred and Dick Gray Matter hand me off a plate at a time until I achieved 180 pounds. Now it's time to see some magic.
That sounded dangerous.
Come on, hurry up. 3 plates.
You did it.
Oh, man.
I was bending, bro. I got scared.
Damn! I'm absolute, guys. Alfred, replace that bent-ass bar for me. You should pan to the bar.
I'm not gonna lie, you know you did something right when the bar is actually weaker than you are. Next, according to Batman's training catalog, he also incorporates power cleans into his workout routine, as well as deadlifts. So last time I did power cleans for the Green Arrow video, I was able to do 185 pounds. Now, considering I don't power clean much, I wanted to see if I could actually still do that. Power cleans, check. 185 isn't that bad. I'm low-key pretty content with it. So next, let me try to attack normal deadlifts. Here I started with 225 pounds and worked my way all the way up to 405 pounds. So I think here we have a pretty solid deadlift to work out, if I do say so myself. And of course, you cannot be Batman without knowing how to whoop some ass.
The freaking man!
Okay, he actually knows something. Most people can't do that. God damn!
So let's return to our zipline status. My 100-foot cable had finally arrived, so now it was time to set this thing up properly now.
I'm gonna have to tap into my inner Native American, Connor from AC3, to get it looped up there. Bro,
Pulling it tight as hell to reduce any slack this thing might have.
Oh, it worked.
Yes. Oh, every day we lit, bro. Every day we lit. Okay.
So now it was the moment of truth.
That nigga is entrusting his life into that tree branch, bro.
Get this shot. This shit about to be epic.
Do you guys remember that one scene from Spider-Man 1?
Tally ho.
Guys, I freaking did it. I
Bro got
unlocked
smacked.
the zipline. So since that went pretty well, I wanted to test how effective a zipline kick would be.
He's the freaking man!
Like, just imagine it's Valentine's Day and you're sitting there talking to your girl, or maybe just even your crush, and some dude in the most A-train way possible comes out of nowhere with a fucking zip line and zip kicks the fuck out of you and your girl. Like, bro, not that I'm giving anyone any ideas for Valentine's Day. I would never openly say that. I think it's time to test out both of the gadgets we have created simultaneously. Let's run it.
Okay. Oh, that was actually taking skill. Dang! Okay. Okay, chat. Food. So I gotta get a zip line. Bro, that's what you might gotta do. I'll be right back, chat. I gotta go grab my food.
They declined one of our touchdowns because what's his face was down the field. Man, they're still throwing hands? Oh my gosh, you're right. Oh, it's game! You think it's happening? Look! Oh my gosh. That was literally perfect in frame. Kaimi came around the corner, put his hands up. He was determined. That was literally. Did you see his face? That could not have been anybody else. That was Kaimi Fairbairn, number 15. That was hilarious. They just start? Yeah, we literally just started. They already have a touchdown? Yeah. We scored on the first drive and we got declined. What are you talking about? You got touchdowns? We scored again. We should be at 14. They have one touchdown called back. They scored twice. They got one called back. Oh, order was wrong. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Order is weak. Oh, are you coming down here? Oh, no, I'm going back up there. I was here to pick up food. Oh, do you eat the same thing? Yeah. I had 250 somewhere. I thought 250 would have been higher. Oh my gosh!
Alrighty, chat. I got me ramen. I got ramen in here. Alright.
Zipline and Batarangs have proven to be quite successful. Now it's time to create his gauntlets. Now before we get to that, we need to finish our strength training. Now, just like the movie, I want to finish it off with both dumbbell bench presses for max reps and tire slings. Alright, focus on the dumbbell!
My extra noodles.
That Asian chick, bro.
What are you lifting? Is that 50? I can't. Oh, are these 40s?
Remember that one Hispanic girl that didn't talk to you, bro?
No, are those 70s? I can't tell how much he lifting. They're 70-pound dumbbells. 70-pound dumbbells, chat. Chat, I was happy when I got the 40-pound dumbbells. Bro is literally bench pressing 40-pound dumbbells. That is insane. And I know people who could do that. I think Isaac can do that. I think Isaac can do like 80s. 80s, 90s, or something like that. Maybe even heavier. I think he could do like max, like over 100. I think he can do that. Oh wait, we might need that. Put it right there for now. All right. They always give me the seaweed, but I never end up eating it. All right. You might as well just throw the noodles in there. You could do like 20. I mean, I did 20s for the longest time. And then like Isaac just, if you guys remember the stream, like Isaac says, I feel like you could do 40s. And I'm like, really? Okay, this one, the noodles. Okay, there we go. All right, we'll throw that on. Got the chopsticks. Get the thing on here. Come on. There we go. All right, let's get that in there. There we go. Put that out here and there. All right, let's get back. Dude, man, this guy must be ridiculously strong. I should do more gym streams. I think would probably like that. It's just that's if I mean, I think Crunch Fitness might be okay with it, but
So a couple years back, I'd made some of these gadgets before. Batarangs, and I pretty much made his gauntlets. Since then, I have repurposed both of them for the Deathstroke suit that I had made, putting one of the carbon steel batarangs in the chest area for the most protection.
This is for those who know!
And even modding the gauntlets themselves. So I refurbished these things to bring them back to a usable state. And when it's all assembled, shit does kind of look clean as hell. I'm not gonna lie to you. So let's go take these to the field. So I'm gonna have Mike just hit me with a random barrage of shit. Let's see if we survive.
This is pussy shit. I'm getting the sword.
I'm gonna entrust you to hit me with Excalibur here. Go like as hard as possible. Don't cut my fucking hand off. Okay. Okay, this shit's low key.
yo, what's good, Ravine? How you doing?
Guys, okay. 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 Sword.
With the sword right here. Hit him with this.
And look at what happened to my forearms. Sword versus gauntlet. All right, gadget 2. I give it a A minus. B minus, B plus. Yeah, A minus. So the gauntlets were able to sustain a sword coming down directly on it. And it granted me full protection. Didn't even feel a thing. Now, all that stuff to do is train my parkour and agility.
Oh, I don't know who this guy is. I just found a video. It literally is called I Became Batman in Real Life. So he's basically training to be Batman and actually doing like some... He literally got... he made gadgets. He did the workout routine. And then at the end of the video, he's actually going to like... travel through the sewers and kind of like break into Arkham and then escape, which is interesting to me because, you know, me being a massive nerd and all that.
So before I go hit these streets, I need to warm up and make sure that I have some decent acrobatic parkour ability up my sleeve already.
You can be Batman. How can you be Batman?
Do it, yup. Yup.
Okay guys, enough games. I think it's time to take all these skills that I have acquired and take them to the streets of Gotham. But first, I was going to need a suit.
You
now,
can
I
fight crime. What's up, a crime you be fighting?
Superheroes have the most ghetto starter outfits ever. Daredevil goes around in a compression shirt and a do-rag and whoops ass. Spider-Man went out in a beanie and a jacket and whooped ass. Batman pressed a cop with a shiesty on, bro. And he also tried getting into a fight with the beanie on too. So I put together something of my own. I call this fit Year 1. Mixed with a compression shirt, a shiesty, cargo pants, steel-toed boots, and hard-knuckle gloves. Let's do it.
What would be your most easiest crime that you can take down? Shit, you think you can take down Jake Paul? That's not necessarily a crime, though. Jake Paul is a crime. Elderly abuse. That's crazy. Okay, where is he going into? Bro's just jumping all around, parkouring. You know what, chat? How big is this guy's channel? 7K. I'm gonna send this video to Isaac. Reason being, this guy would be cool for Black Fist as a younger Black Fist.
So now that we've completed our training, hit the streets. I think it's time that you guys witness my full return to Arkham.
So he actually is going to break in. I love the fact that they use a lot of the game audio from like Arkham Knight and stuff like that. This is literally the intro or the main menu page for Arkham Knight. That's how you know I played this game so many times. That's how you know I played it so many times, when I recognize music from the Arkham games. Like, I know the entirety of Arkham. So he broke into an abandoned building. This area also contains... So he literally went out and went to an abandoned sewage. That's actually crazy. Killer Croc reference. Chad, is it weird that I hear Kevin Conroy every time he shows that? That's from Arkham Asylum. When you first get out of Arkham in the outside world. Yep, all Bab and Arkham music. Arkham Asylum music. Oh, yeah. Ratcatcher reference. Couple of marked vehicles were outside. I could not even make up this next part, but we knew someone was here 100%. Okay, okay. What? No freaking way. Were there actual police sirens? There's no way. Ain't no way. That's crazy.
Bro, that ending was actually pretty crazy. How much of it was true? Like 94.6%. And did I actually manage to successfully evade and outrun the authorities? I guess we'll never know. But that was actually on the crazier side of things I've probably ever done. Here's a word of advice: don't go into abandoned buildings at 1:30 a.m. on Halloween. You might get met by an inmate. And definitely probably don't go alone at night, especially, because that night actually inspired this entire video. Which is why it was hilarious that whenever I went back, I saw a giant ass question mark. We almost actually shat ourselves when we saw the security and then we heard the sirens. We knew the jig was probably gonna be up. But yeah, guys, don't forget to drop a like on this video. This took me 2 weeks to make, 5 days to edit. The support would always be greatly appreciated, but I think it's more than safe to say I have become the Batman.
That's crazy that he's doing these type of videos. That's actually kind of cool. That's actually pretty cool. But chat, I mean, can you imagine being a superhero? Are you guys aware that there was like a legitimate superhero, like running around like the United States? Like, I'm not joking. There was a dead ass a real superhero at one point in time. I remember when I was searching around on YouTube, he was a big deal because like he was actually stopping crimes and everything. The only reason why you don't hear about him anymore is because he was arrested for selling drugs. This was his name, Phoenix Jones. I didn't spell Phoenix right. But this was him, Phoenix Jones. This was bro. The fall of Phoenix Jones. It's sad to see because, you know, this is our one step closer of like getting like a legitimate superhero as more or less
Across the world, hundreds of individuals are patrolling the
literally
streets of their
a
hometowns,
Justice League.
seeking out injustices where they might be of service. Some are looking for crime to document, report, or in rare cases, intervene. Others are simply hoping to inspire their community with small acts of heroism, such as handing out food to the hungry or giving a car ride to a would-be drunk driver. As homage to their comic book inspirations, they adopt colorful costumes and pseudonyms, like Redbud Woman and the Crimson Canuck. Each has a different MO. Polar Man travels the streets of Canada, shoveling snow from driveways. The DC Guardian patrols the United States Capitol, handing out copies of the Constitution. Most consider their efforts a type of inspirational cosplay, with a bit of live-action roleplay included for theatrical effect. But of those who have truly modeled themselves after their
there's bro right there,
who devote their lives to martial arts training, push their bodies to peak fitness, confront criminals who react violently toward them, and operate alongside a police force who are continuously looking for reasons to get them off the street, there may only be one.
Furthermore, whenever you inject yourself into an issue, there's always the problem that could get worse.
No, that's not Isaac.
True intentions, it can escalate the situation.
But I wonder if Isaac knows
Armed
about
with
this.
a
I think he does.
$10,000 bulletproof suit, a stun baton, 2 million Scoville pepper spray, and a GoPro. Phoenix Jones is perhaps
Is
the
he
closest
incarcerated
thing
right
to a
now?
comic book hero we've ever seen. And during his decade of activity, his fans have watched him transform
He was
from
born in
hero
Texas,
to
really.
anti-hero and finally to what he'd fought so long to protect Seattle against.
I guess it's true what they say. You live long enough as the hero, see yourself become the villain.
Very bad.
I guess.
This is not the
This is
inspiration
the
for
rise
Battle
and
Sheet.
fall of Phoenix
I can tell you
Jones.
guys for a fact.
His full title is Phoenix Jones
Oh, I
Guardian of
bet.
Seattle,
Like, I think it's
and
done
his
stuff
story
like that,
begins
though.
in late 2010 when local news began
So you can
reporting
find
on a
out. Okay,
mysterious
so that was his
figure
last
who,
record.
nearly every night, disappeared into the hidden room of a comic book shop and emerged in a black and gold costume. In the beginning, the learning curve for what he hoped to accomplish proved steep. Patrolling areas rich with nightlife, Jones would occasionally encounter little more than an obnoxious bar patron who needed calming down. Finding crime was nearly as difficult as fighting it. It was pretty embarrassing, Jones told a reporter of Seattle Met, speaking of his early patrols. I walked around downtown and didn't see any crime. But in January of 2011, Jones began to cut his teeth on the extreme brand of heroics that he would ultimately become known for.
One local man came within seconds of having his car broken into, perhaps stolen, until a superhero came to his rescue.
And you just start sticking it down inside between the window here and the rubber strip.
Dan was calling 911, but help flew in before he finished dialing.
From the right, this guy comes dashing.
Now that I think about it, does he have like his own comics? Because chat, do you know how massive that would be? To have your own comic book? Okay, so there are comics of like his story and everything. Okay, so there is actually comics of him. That would be cool if we can bring it to like life or anything like that. Because like, yeah, it's very unfortunate that he had to sell for drugs and anything like that, but I think that would be kind of cool bringing him to like the universe and everything like that. Or just something. It's still part of history, despite, I mean, yeah, he sold MDMA. Sure. We had a fucking real ass superhero.
Dashing in, just wearing this skin-tight rubber black and golden suit and starts chasing him away.
The attention Jones got from the single incident solidified his niche in crime fighting. In order to separate himself from the growing community of other real-life superheroes, Jones believed he would have to put himself in the precarious situations that others wouldn't dream of. As he continued, Jones began breaking up street fights, attempting to intimidate drug dealers, and in doing so, incurred many injuries.
But a man held him at gunpoint Saturday night while another kicked him and broke his nose.
It's under my eye over here on this.
I can see your eye, it's all swollen.
But the injuries didn't deter him. He appeared to romanticize the bellicose portrayals of comic book heroes, and he was on his way to becoming one, despite the attempts of Seattle police to dissuade him.
And now police say enough is enough. Someone's gonna end up dead.
Don't insert yourself into those situations. If you see something, call 911.
Law enforcement weren't the only ones to disapprove. Jones was largely condemned by...
I will say, like, at least Phoenix Jones had, like, a really cool suit. Some of these other superheroes that I've seen, bro, why the fuck are they wearing that? Like, Phoenix Jones had probably one of the coolest real-life suits. Like, look at bro. You would have thought that was, like, a real-life person. Like, a real-life, like, costume. Okay, well, he's a real-life person. You would have thought this was, like, from a movie set, I mean. You would have thought this was, like, from a movie set. No, this is fucking real life. And people are out here with, like, weird makeup, jackets.
Other costume heroes who considered him delusional and worried his efforts would be harmful to their overall reputation. For the first time, we have someone who agrees with our overall purpose but doesn't agree with our methods, Portland, Oregon-based hero Night Owl told the Wall Street Journal.
It's not putting on a super suit and finding bad guys to fight. Real life isn't that way. Real crime fighting doesn't work that way. If you act that way, you're probably gonna make things worse.
Jones was certainly an outlier in the real-life superhero community, a community which can be traced back to the 1970s with a charismatic Californian known as Captain Sticky.
Rest in peace, Stanley. Rest in peace to the one and only.
Retiring in his 20s after inventing corrugated fiberglass, Richard Pesta of San Diego devoted his life to becoming America's first Cape Crusader. Like many after him, Captain Sticky's approach was non-violent. His costume and outrageous persona served as bait for the media, who gave him a platform he needed to speak out against injustices.
Is now overweight.
Such as the poor
God
conditions
damn.
of elderly homes or greedy
What happened to
auto mechanics
Homelander?
upcharging their less knowledgeable customers. Of the modern era, many cite Master Legend of Florida as one of the first to seek out crime and physically intervene.
Get a taste of that the next time you want to hurt a little kid.
Patrolling Winter Park just outside of Orlando, Master Legend comes equipped with his Master Blaster, a homemade cannon that fires plastic Easter eggs filled with cayenne pepper and rock salt.
Oh, nice.
While Master Legend and Captain Sticky were novelties at their time of arrival, in recent decades an influx of individuals following in their footsteps began to permeate the streets of metropolitan cities. Mr. Full Moon of Tokyo, Japan, the Black Rat of Sydney, Australia. The more news outlets reported on these individuals, the more they seemed to crop up.
He calls himself the Shadow Hair.
Names like Asylum, Fool King, and Professor Midnight.
Although often accused of being naive, many of these heroes understand the scope of what they can realistically accomplish inside the law. While ideologies vary within these individuals and organizations, common mantras include staying safe, remaining on the good side of law enforcement, and making a difference where one can. But not only did Phoenix Jones stand in stark contrast with his community, he seemed to look down on them. "I don't call them real-life superheroes," he told writer John Ronson, who interviewed Jones in an emergency room as he was being treated for a stab wound. "I call them real-life sandwich handlers." But this separation from the community didn't seem to hinder Phoenix. On the contrary, by mid-2011, Phoenix was well on his way to becoming the world's most famous real-life superhero. During his patrols, Jones would be approached for pictures, autographs, even requests for video shoutouts.
This is Phoenix Jones. If you're not listening to bass rock, you're foolish right now. Seriously.
And it wasn't long before Phoenix managed to inspire a small coalition of like-minded individuals who costumed themselves to join him on patrol. El Caballero, whose appearance seemed to pay tribute to luchadors, became one of Jones's closest allies.
And you're not a wimp if you call 911.
Purple Rain, whose focus was domestic assault awareness and prevention, served as strategist and monitored a police radio in order to direct the group to where they might be needed.
So I went to the City of Seattle's website where the police file all their reports, so I look and see what kinds of crimes are happening, if the police respond, and I just factor in all this different data. And I say, you know what, this is where we need to be. And that's how we find crime.
Phoenix had very specific attributes he wanted in his fellow superheroes. They needed to know how to fight. Military and martial arts background was a strict prerequisite. And the recruits stayed sharp with regular training.
Average police response time in Seattle is 5 minutes. We're gonna try to basically hold off an attacker. Me, Evo being the superhero, we're gonna try to keep it going for about 5 minutes is the goal.
By late 2011, the group had accumulated around 10 members. With names like Buster Doe, Midnight Jack, and Red Dragon, they were...
Okay, what are these damn names? I get it, they're legitimate superheroes, but what?
Were a diverse cast of characters. But unified under the leadership of Phoenix Jones, they became the Rain City superhero movement.
Pitch Black's gonna go undercover and attempt to make a drug buy. I don't usually look like this. And once he sees the drugs or the thing, we're gonna come in and bust him. Here's what's going on. We got cameras all over, and we saw what was going on, and we came in here because we saw what's going on. We're not putting up with it anymore. We're tired of it, man. People keep selling drugs in the city, polluting the block, and we're just not putting up with it. Hey, this is a bitch. It's kind of funny, but I'm dead serious.
Phoenix's approach remained polarizing. As he often invited camera crews to follow him on patrol, some sensed Jones cared more about his own celebrity than improving his community.
Okay, chat, I deadass found his I found his Instagram. No way he's still doing it. Here we are. Here it is right here. Benjamin Folder. It says right here, 61 weeks, September 13, 2023. Okay, Jones Army. I need a little help identifying a suspect. First person who can ID him in Seattle gets a t-shirt and I'll record you a personal message. What? Ain't no way. He is still out here. My old training partner acting like he doesn't know me. We trained together for years. Ain't no way he's still doing it. Chase down, a stabbing. This was back in 2022. Keep in mind, he got arrested in 2020. He got arrested for his drug charge in 2020. So he's either he has an ankle bracelet or like, I have no idea.
I just saw a car flipped over in the middle of the road. I don't know if anyone's in it right now. I'm running to the car to see if they need medical attention or any kind of help. You guys ride with me. Let's go.
Yo, that is crazy. I would, you know, chat, you know what would be cool content? This would be something that, like, most content creators would not do. We would love, well, I mean, I would have to picture the Isaac. I wonder how cool it would be interviewing one of the first, like, real-life superheroes and everything for Battle Chi content. Like messaging is like, hey, we're a comic book creator. We would love to interview you on the Battle Chi channel. As like, how would you? As like, what can we do to get that? That would be kind of cool, actually.
Have you really made the best uses of media attention to further the causes you claim to serve? Fellow Seattle-based hero Ravenblade asked in an open letter to Jones. Have you really acted like a hero? The criticism was largely engulfed by outspoken supporters who considered Phoenix Jones the first legitimate real-life superhero, a distinction from the costume street performers many had come to associate with the movement. They continued, allegedly chasing down a suspect in a stabbing, even stopping a bus from being hijacked. Phoenix and Purple Rain were married, and the two of them together serving as the dual public face of the group seemed to be good PR. Interviewers and media outlets were divided, some wishing to scold the heroes.
It's about Nightwing and Batgirl, isn't it? I mean, that's what it is. It's more about that than anything else, is it not?
Some choosing instead to highlight their accomplishments.
Tell us what happened the night Phoenix saved your life.
A man was getting violent with security at a nightclub. He proceeded to get violent with me and my group of friends. Phoenix ran in and pepper sprayed the guy and diffused the entire situation.
How did you hear about it?
The group was earning a bit of respect, and with Seattle having a crime rate 126% above the national average, receiving an F rank on AreaVibes.com, the Rain City superhero movement had their work cut out for them. But the interventionist approach the heroes employed often skirted the lines of legality.
Put your hands. Stay right here. Stay down.
The process of a citizen's arrest, which the heroes regularly performed, is a complicated and unpredictable one, as it's often easy to mistake the context of a given situation. Jeremy McHenry of MPS Security Services had this to say of the concept of a citizen's arrest. You're going to be sued if you mess up. You can be arrested for making a false arrest. Many understood that Jones's reckless approach would sooner or later catch up with him, so it was no surprise that in late 2011, the inevitable happened.
A so-called superhero in Seattle is under arrest.
Yeah.
Phoenix and fellow hero Ghost were out on patrol when they witnessed a crowd of people congregating beneath a viaduct. From the distance up the street where the heroes stood, it looked like a street fight. Phoenix ran in, shouting to the group to break it up, instructing Ghost to dial 911 as was their protocol. But rather than thanking Phoenix for his assistance, the group turned on him. Phoenix, unable to verbally control the situation, employed the use of his pepper spray. The police arrived soon after, their patience with Jones already spent, and took statements from both parties. According to Jones, what he thought he was running into was an assault. But according to a police report, the group was, quote, dancing and frolicking around with each other when a masked man came running and shouting toward them, coating the area in pepper spray. The last paragraph of the police report notes that this was the second complaint of the night regarding Jones, who had pepper sprayed a group of nightclub patrons some hours earlier. Although Jones was gone by the time the officer arrived at the scene, he described the distinct scent of pepper spray lingering in the air. The Seattle Police Department decided to make an example out of Phoenix, and he was arrested for assault.
That's crazy.
After sitting in a jail cell overnight, Jones made his $3,800 bail and emerged to a team of reporters waiting outside the courthouse. Phoenix welcomed them to congregate around him, and in a move that shocked everyone, he unmasked himself and greeted the cameras for the first time as Benjamin Fodor.
I'm Phoenix Jones. I'm also Ben Fodor. I also protect the city. I also am a father. I also am a brother. I'm just like everyone else.
Born in Texas in 1988, Benjamin Fodor spent time in orphanages before finding a family and relocating to the Pacific Northwest. Benjamin and his brother Karos both shared a love of fighting. Each pursued competitive mixed martial arts at a young age.
You know, now that I think about it, when we met Impound, I have their first issue, and literally the character of Impound is a mixed martial artist. So I wonder if Brent kind of based their story upon Phoenix Jones.
According to Tapology.com, Benjamin, who fought under the name Flat Top, boasted an impressive amateur record of 11 wins and no losses. But whereas his brother continued into the professional ranks of organizations such as Strikeforce and UFC, his younger brother Benjamin decided to put his skills to more unconventional uses. But aside from the martial arts background, the conditions which stemmed the most well-known real-life superhero couldn't have been more unassuming. Benjamin was a father of two working at a daycare for children with special needs. His origin story goes like this. One morning, Benjamin found his car broken into, his driver's side window shattered, and a black ski mask laying atop the broken glass on the street. His son, cutting himself in the glass, had to be taken to the emergency room. Phoenix kept the mask, and days later, when a close friend was assaulted outside of a nightclub while a group of spectators watched, too afraid to intervene, Phoenix decided the ski mask would serve as the basis for an alternate identity. A moniker was chosen. The word Phoenix has roots in Greek folklore associated with rebirth. Jones, one of the most common American last names, is meant to represent the notion that ordinary citizens can hold others accountable for their actions. His costume was commissioned from Extreme Design FX and then sent to Baker Ballistics in order to be reinforced with bulletproof and stab-resistant plating. In an article from My Northwest, Fodor detailed some of his earliest attempts at vigilantism, well before he'd attracted any media attention. Confused as to how to begin, Benjamin took to simply brooding on rooftops. One night, upon witnessing a mugging, he climbed down the building's fire escape, a task which took minutes, only to find the criminal long gone by the time he reached the street. He'd purchased a net launcher reminiscent of the old campy Batman comics. Contrary to how he'd imagined the usage of this device playing out, Jones ended up trapping himself in it and was spotted by a passing police officer who took the opportunity to laugh and take a few pictures before cutting him loose. Early Phoenix Jones also carried with him a grappling hook which seemed to fit with his persona but had no practical value. You think you're going to scale a building, a friend critiqued? What are you going to do when you get up there? Swoop down? Parachute down?
Mr. Jaleel reaction, how'd you like it? Yo, what's up, PQ? Welcome to the stream. So, you know, it's different. There's some bangers in there. I highly believe Combo was the best song. No questions asked. Combo was the best song in that album. But, everything else, you know, yeah, I like it. Like, it's not a terrible album. You know, it's different. It's not like real raw energy and anything like that. It's definitely a very different album that people may or may not like. It's good for what it is. I know Jaleel is capable of making good music and everything. I know he has better songs in the catalog, but I added 8 out of the 12 songs that was in that album. But yeah, nah. Combo was definitely the best album. How you been, by the way? I haven't talked to you in a while, or I haven't talked to any of the Jaleel people in a while. We're kind of like chilling out and everything. I'm actually doing my last normal stream before I kind of take like a stream hiatus and everything like that. Tomorrow will be my official last stream because Mortal Kombat's going to drop Ghostface and everything like that. So I'll be working on other things behind the scenes and everything that I kind of want to work on and everything like that. But nah. But yeah, my favorite song in that album is definitely Combo. Even though I've heard Combo when it got leaked into snippets. So when I heard Combo was in this album, yep, Banger already. Yeah, I've been good. JELEEL added some grails to existence that the Discord liked, so I think it was great. Yeah, there's a good song in there. Like I'm happy that combo is definitely officially out and everything like that. So we're kind of just chilling, looking through topics and everything. We just saw a guy trying to become Batman, and then it reminded me of this one guy. He was very popular on the internet. Like this is when I was going through like a massive comic book phase. I'm still in my comic book phase. I mean, shit, I sell comic books right now. Chat, if you guys want to purchase a Battle Chi comic, !Battle Chi is 25% off right now and everything. We got a couple of issues restocked as well if you want to go ahead and do that. And I remember as a kid, I thought this was cool that there was a real life superhero and everything like that. So, and the last thing I heard from him is that he went to jail, but we just found his Twitter account, and he is still kind of like acting like a superhero. It was like he'll say, "We need help finding the suspect" and everything like that. Like he's still active on social media, which is crazy.
The parachute to even open. Although fans appreciated this insight into the man behind the mask, this move proved detrimental to Benjamin personally, as he was subsequently fired from his job at the daycare. And his custom-made suit was confiscated for evidence.
So why did they confiscate your suit?
So the politically correct answer is, to do an accurate investigation, we need to have everything that was involved. The fact that your identity was concealed by a supersuit therefore makes it evidence that we need to take to prove that you are the man underneath the suit.
Despite the feedback that he should put his persona of Phoenix Jones to rest, Benjamin doubled down. He had a backup suit, and he was confident the assault charges would be dropped once the video evidence came out. The evidence in question was obtained by videographer Ryan McNamee, who had been documenting the Rain City Heroes' nightly exploits. Based on the title Phoenix Jones Stops Assault, Ryan's first-hand interpretations of events differ from the reporting police officers. Many of the video's comments seem to also side with Phoenix. Even Jones's detractors suggested the arrest was an excuse to deter him. Later that month, the charges were dropped. And despite media outlets, both corporate and independent, offering harsh criticisms over the fiasco.
Charges got dropped?
What an idiot. Okay.
That was awesome. That's the girl he's supposed to be helping. She's like, "You fucking pepper sprayed me, you idiot."
Phoenix Jones was on his way to unprecedented stardom.
That's crazy. That's still crazy. Chad, if Battle Chi Comics can get an interview with this guy, that would be amazing. Yeah, he was doing the cops' jobs better. I mean, the questions that I could think of that I would ask is just like, it's like, what made you want to fight crime? Or like, I guess like the beginning was like, who is Phoenix Jones? What made you want to get into crime? What deterred you from actually becoming the real life superhero that you almost became? Why did you sell drugs? Even though you were basically a public figure and everything like that. And do you wish you were still patrolling, becoming a superhero and everything? Would you ever want to be an actual comic series and you have complete ownership of your own origin, you could sell it and everything? You know, stuff like that.
Jones was back with renewed enthusiasm and a steady stream of encouragement from the largest fan base he'd ever had. But on the night of April 22nd, 2012, a tragic and random act of violence would mark a distinct attitude shift in Phoenix and the Rain City superhero movement.
Which is?
It was after midnight. 21-year-old Nicole Westbrook and her boyfriend were walking through Pioneer Square after leaving a comedy show, when suddenly shots rang out.
Gunshots! Gunshots! Gunshots!
Phoenix, along with Purple Rain and Pitch Black, ran toward the sound. Jones caught a glimpse of someone in a gray backpack as the potential shooter and followed him on foot for several blocks until police arrived.
There he is. There's the shooter. Backpack running. Backpack running? Backpack running. Backpack running. Backpack running.
Having been shot through the cheek, Nicole suffered a shattered spine. An ambulance
Yikes.
rushed her to the hospital where she passed away shortly after. Nicole was not believed to be the intended target. The source of the gunfire was determined to have been a drive-by shooting, leading police to believe the hooded figure the heroes were chasing was the target. The case of Nicole Westbrook remains open to this day, and anyone with potential information is encouraged to contact the Seattle Police Department. Jones would go on to cite the tragedy as his biggest failure.
And she's up the street and the medics are taking her away. The fire engine drives by and just washes the blood off the sidewalk, and it runs down into a drain, and I just keep sitting on the sidewalk at this point, and people start walking by for work and just do their normal everyday life, and my world is completely changed, and everyone else is exactly the same.
This event would continue to ripple throughout Jones's crime-fighting career, especially in his later years. But directly following the tragedy, there was scarcely time to process. Just a week later, Seattle was to host the May Day protest.
May Day mayhem in Seattle. Demonstrations turned violent as thousands of people clogged downtown streets.
Originally in response to poor labor conditions, the May Day protests began in Europe during the late 19th century and persist even today all across the world.
Yikes.
Always held on May 1st, these events occasionally escalate in violent and unpredictable ways.
Broken glass, buildings and cars covered with spray paint. Tonight, downtown Seattle.
Phoenix Jones, along with Midnight Jack and El Caballero, were patrolling the protest, attempting to deter and control outbursts, when a protester inadvertently revealed a plan to blow up the Seattle courthouse.
The crowd was actually rumoring a bomb blowing up a building?
Yeah, that's what the people with the black masks were rumoring, because they're kind of dumb, and I don't know if they haven't been to Seattle, but they didn't know that I'm not part of their crew. So they just kept telling me stuff.
So you were infiltrating them? They thought because you were...
We were just walking, and they were wearing masks, and we were.
Right, but because you are dressed up as a superhero, they thought this guy must be into craziness like us.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Phoenix and his colleagues attempted to notify the police, but they didn't seem to take the testimonials seriously.
You hear rumblings of this, and you let the Seattle police know. Tell me how that conversation went.
Well, there wasn't really a conversation. I said, "Excuse me, sir, can I talk to you?" And he said, "We're busy." And I said, "I'm well aware, can I talk to you?" He said, "Yeah, give me a few minutes. Here's my card."
Oh.
And then that was it.
Here's my card? Police officer gave you his card?
Fearing an escalation, they followed the crowd of protesters to the courthouse, and it was there they witnessed rocks and something which was believed to be a failed explosive device being thrown through the glass windows and doors. Knowing Phoenix would be apprehensive to use pepper spray following his assault charge, Midnight Jack opted to be the one to incapacitate the group. When the police arrived, they arrested 8 of the protesters for destruction of public property. The group received their share of disapproving opinions. Gawker reporter Adrian Chin described Phoenix as a combination of Batman and a mall cop. But one of the more entertaining opposers of the Rain City Heroes was a film Corey, who decided the thing the group was truly missing was a villain.
My name is Rex Velvet, the people's villain, if you will. Before you jump to conclusions, let me tell you that I'm a fair negotiator and businessman.
Okay, Chad, this part is like a... There was a guy that was destined to become Phoenix Jones' like arch nemesis. So this dude's like a filmmaker and everything like that. He's not actually like a villain or anything, but it's kind of funny to know that like for every superhero you need a super villain, and this guy just wanted to become his super super villain.
But I will not back down from you, Jones, until this city is rid of you.
His attempts to bait Phoenix into a campy online rivalry failed, but Ryan Corey, stylizing himself as the villain Rex Velvet, continued, calling into radio shows while in character, and managed to turn their fake rivalry into a moderately successful web series.
Phoenix Jones, you have met your match.
Other supervillains joined in. Parody characters which targeted Jones began cropping up across YouTube and other social media.
Mr. Grimm here.
Yeah, Phoenix, I'll be creating something now. Huh? I got a new potion that's gonna turn the whole world against you.
But
That's
Ryan
crazy.
Corey and others
Yo, what's
would
up?
have
What's
to
up,
settle
bro?
for a
Bro, how you doing
one-sided
today?
online feud. Jones simply took himself too seriously to engage with them.
Rex Velvet is on the other line.
Rex Velvet is on the other line.
The guy who made that promo that you heard.
I encourage, if you guys want to talk to him, you go right ahead. I don't have anything to say to him because
You got a video that you need my opinion on?
and I don't promote
What type
or
of video is
accept
it?
or even acknowledge people who want to do acts of villainy of any kind, even if it's not real. That's what I'm
Told
for.
you.
Look at
Really
you, Phoenix
fucked
Jones.
up or good? Oh
Priority
no.
shift.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, what do we got here? Jesus Christ, what? World record for hogs eliminated. Like, we're talking like pigs? Like hunting? Okay, I don't know if I could show animal cruelty, but god damn! Some pig got ran over and flopped around. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to see like pigs being gunned down. Plus, there might be other viewers that might not be okay with it. God damn! So they're just hunting pigs. I love the fact that one of the comments says, "Fun fact: 99% of people who said this is cool is living in a nice, safe household and gated community and never have to deal with a wild boar." I mean, that's pretty much true. And the reason why I wouldn't freak out with something like this is because, you know, my dad, he used to hunt. He used to hunt deers and stuff like that. And he used to be surrounded by guns and everything like that. So, in a way, yes, it's cruel because it's, you know, pigs, animals dying, everything like that. And I can't say that because in my ramen I had pork. I had pork, so I can't really like say anything. But I see both sides of it. Like, you know, it's sad for the pigs. It kind of like they're like in peril and they're being shot down and everything. And then you see, you know, the guys having a very fun time hunting and all that, playing around with their guns, with the hogs and all that. It's kind of a more crazy way to like. It's a very crazy way to just get like bacon and stuff like that. Can we switch the topic and play some Jake Paul every day, bro, raving. You know what? I hope you get beat up by Jake Paul.
Shifted for Jones in November of that year when a video patrol log went viral, propelling his already budding celebrity into then uncharted
The worst part is
territories.
how expensive ammo is.
Between 45th and 47th, suspect wearing an orange shirt. De-escalation does not appear to be working just yet.
While on patrol with 4 other local heroes, Phoenix confronted a man punching the window of a parked car and shouting obscenities at the passengers inside. Police arrived shortly after with the heroes content to let them handle the situation. But after the assailant shouted a racial slur at Phoenix, Jones challenged him to mutual combat.
Yo, Washington's a mutual combat state. If you'd like to agree to fight, we can do that if you'd like to. You want to fight? If you would like to.
Mutual combat laws allow 2 consenting parties to engage in a street fight, as long as no bystanders are hurt or property damaged. Often cited as a vestige of dueling, mutual combat remains legal in portions of the United States.
I mean, I'm not necessarily against hunting because, you know, food and stuff like that. But also, like in culinary, which a lot of people don't realize, there is actually a humane way to kill animals and everything. People think, well, it's not humane to kill animals. It's like, in a way, I mean, that's how we get our food and everything. That's how we get protein and all that.
Such as Washington State and Texas.
PJ has offered to engage suspect in orange shirt to mutual combat under the laws of Washington State. Suspect appears ready to fight.
Sealing the deal with a handshake and under the supervision of police officers, Phoenix Jones proceeded to knock out his opponent.
Fighting the suspect. Suspect is down.
This video, posted to Phoenix Jones's YouTube channel, garnered widespread reaction and commentary.
Even from Joe Rogan?
Sealing the deal with a handshake and under the
Even
supervision
from Joe
of police
Rogan?
officers, Phoenix Jones proceeded to knock out his opponent.
Fighting the suspect. Suspect is down.
This video, posted to Phoenix Jones.
Okay, I want to see if that channel is still active. The last video he ever uploaded was 9 years ago. Damn. That was his last ever video that he ever uploaded and everything. He uploaded shorts? Since when? He uploaded shorts before it was a thing? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. That's crazy. How do you, what? So okay, so that must be just like, it was just a short clip. Because there was a short 9 years ago. Shorts wasn't even a thing 9 years ago. Alright, let me see here. You're banned.
Jones's YouTube channel garnered widespread reaction and commentary.
Oh, that's when you know.
Ain't no way you suggested another song from Jake Paul.
Moving around.
Phoenix's celebrity and public presence were at an all-time high. Podcasts, talk shows, public service announcements, Jones rarely turned down an opportunity.
From the behalf of the Rain City superhero movement and costume discounters, you guys have a safe and fun Halloween. See you in the streets.
He did a Reddit Ask Me Anything, which was kind of bizarre, but provided insight into the kind of chaotic individual Phoenix was. Leading his fellow heroes into 2013, Jones would experience a brief golden age of heightened popularity, strong relations with police, and a series of disciplined, systematic patrols. But unbeknownst to Phoenix, a hidden fault line was beginning to appear, one which would not only grow to jeopardize the movement,
being able to have something to always protect myself with this burner
it's a good
allows
song
me to
about
have that peace of mind no
chickens.
but would foreshadow Phoenix's ultimate and unexpected fall from grace.
Awesome. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our patrol tonight.
Yes, hello, all four of you.
All right, I am pulling up the crime trends in Seattle lately. Here's
Good song about
exactly
chickens.
what's
Welcome
going
back. What's
on.
up?
Would you like us to come over there and take a look, babe?
Yeah.
All right, let's go take a look here.
With more fame than any real-life superhero had ever experienced, Jones began to assume a leadership role in not only the local superhero scene, but the national one. In February of 2013, he posted a video to his YouTube channel directly addressing other heroes, setting a strict standard of behavior he expected from them.
This is what's up. There's a lot of superheroes out here who are doing really stupid crap, and eventually we're all going to get shut down. You guys don't realize it, but there's a war going on out there you don't know about.
So he literally caused a real life Marvel civil war. Jesus Christ. That's crazy.
And that war starts with the government not liking unregulated anything in mass numbers. There's 250 of us to 300 of us walking around with absolutely no accountability. It's going to stop pretty much now.
According to Jones, heroes had been patrolling with illegal weapons, regularly breaking laws under a misguided notion of vigilantism. Phoenix was worried such missteps would cause a nationwide crackdown, potentially running the movement for everyone.
We really have to come together, get this whole thing together, get a regimented way to do this before we get shut down.
Jones considered his brand of heroics to be one of the few sustainable out there.
Chat, this is what I'm about to do. I'm going to be a superhero. I'm going to be known as Banana Man.
But his crew was small, and out of 300 heroes operating across the United States, the Rain City branch only accounted for 15. Phoenix unveiled an umbrella organization he referred to as the Alliance, which acted as a registry for heroes where they agreed to several of Jones's rules, including wearing a bulletproof vest.
And now people are going to say, well, I just hand out food. Yeah, but I came along and I changed the face of real life superheroing. Every criminal in the world who is aware of superheroes, when they look at you, they think that you fight crime. That's what they think you do. So whether you want to go out there and hand out a sandwich or not, you're still in danger of being injured. Don't be stupid, be prepared.
The selection for new recruits in Phoenix's hometown became
Kibble the triple, that's crazy.
And in an interview with KIRO Radio, Jones admitted to rejecting 100% of the incoming applications.
The Rain City superhero movement is hiring, and applications are available right now.
So far, I've rejected 6 of the 6 applications I've got. Where they're like, I'm 7 feet tall and super buff right now. I don't know if there's a mask that'll fit over my giant meat head, but it's cool. I just want to walk around and punch people. Let's go. And I'm like, no.
At this point, Phoenix had been patrolling the streets almost nightly for nearly 3 years. In the beginning, he was critical of inaction, or what he called sandwich handling, but his new focus seemed to be on personal restraint. Although martial arts or military experience remained a prerequisite for joining, Phoenix began to reject people if they showed any inkling of violent tendencies.
I think there are some people in this city who are up to no good and need to be taught a lesson. On the other hand, there are lots of good people in this city who get taken advantage of on a regular basis, and that needs to stop.
Second part of the answer, awesome. First part of the answer worries me. Anytime anyone says needs to be taught a lesson, I get uncomfortable. Your demeanor doesn't strike me as generally violent type. You know, it could be the Clark Kent glasses throwing me off. We don't get to teach lessons. We get to stop people perpetrating crimes, and we get to give them to the authorities that are supposed to uphold the values that we all voted for.
His patrols became highly systematic. A weekly schedule was posted, with each patrol group consisting of a team leader, a medic, and a radio operator. Phoenix claimed the movement now included a legal team, although to what capacity I'm not sure. Aspiring heroes would be subjected to a probation period, and they would be unable to even choose a name or a costume until they joined in 15 patrols, stopped a violent crime, assisted in a medical situation, ran the GoPro, ran the live stream, and written several patrol logs.
What?
At this point, the team would take a vote to determine whether the applicant became a full member.
With this application, you're extremely underqualified. But the part of it that I do like is it was really well thought out. As far as joining the main group of the RCSM, I think you would probably end up getting hurt.
The majority of video logs on Jones's YouTube channel were uploaded during this period. On
It
the
takes a
surface,
lot.
Their operation seemed to be running more smoothly than ever. A lawful, by-the-book protocol enforced by Jones, diligent documentation, regular check-ins with the radio operator and other heroes.
I'm close enough to Red to make contact. Should I do that? Over?
And thanks to the generosity of their fans, they were able to record evidence of most encounters, which seemed to result in a much healthier relationship with the Seattle police.
Officer Floyd. Hey, we have a video of the beginning of those guys over here pretending to flash or even maybe flashing the real gun. And there was a little altercation. I also confiscated some black tar heroin off and threw it down a drain. I got all that on video if you need it. Yeah, I got it on video if you need that.
Recovering stolen bikes, addressing medical concerns others simply ignored, exposing individuals soliciting sex acts from the homeless.
The crazy thing is, I got a masked man calling me.
Yeah.
Right now.
The crazier thing was when you made a homeless crack addict to suck your dick. That's crazy.
I didn't.
It's on tape.
On slow crime nights, they handed out sandwiches, in contrast to Jones's previous disparaging remarks. However, things were not quite as harmonious as they seemed. An argument over a helmet, which El Caballero accused Phoenix of stealing, caused his longtime sidekick to
you would
abruptly
think
leave the group.
he does
But
good in
most
this
shocking of
world.
all was the sudden departure of Purple Rain. In November, Purple Rain made a social media post stating that she and Jones were separating and would not be working together on any future projects. Purple Rain opted to keep the details of their separation private, a difficult boundary between public and personal life when the two have so much overlap. But her fans seemed to respect her decision. With the loss of his two closest allies, Jones found himself unable to stop a growing mutiny of disgruntled heroes, ready to expose the flaws of their leader and ultimately bring about the end of the Rain City superhero movement for good.
Legion, I just want to beat the fuck out of this guy.
He's not worth it.
God, I'm having one of these moments right now.
Come on.
God damn. Okay.
Although Phoenix's celebrity continued to increase, even landing a cameo in the PlayStation 4 title Infamous Second Son,
That's
those
crazy.
who remained close to Jones knew
Really?
the movement was coming to an end. The domino effect of Purple Rain and El Caballero leaving inspired others to do the same, taking to social media to air grievances about their leader on the way out. In a post that began, "Phoenix Jones is a con artist thief," Shockwave leveled some startling accusations against Phoenix. As per Jones's instruction, each hero was required to purchase a bulletproof vest, a payment which they handed directly to Jones, who claimed to have cut a deal with the manufacturer. However, as months went by, no one received their vest. Jones had also been requiring the Rain City heroes to pay monthly dues for a health insurance plan in case they were hurt on patrol, but many began to suspect there was no such insurance as Jones failed to produce any sort of documentation. Perhaps the most damning of all were the attacks against Jones's integrity as a crime fighter. Phoenix Jones preys on people exiting bars drunken, unable to function normally, Shockwave claimed, citing the Mutual Combat video for evidence. Would MMA allow one fighter to be drunk while the other is sober? Accusations of exaggerating his heroics and spinning the narrative in his favor were nothing new for Phoenix, although until this point they'd come from heroes and spectators outside the Rain City movement. But this was coming from someone who patrolled with Phoenix, who knew what he was like when the livestream was turned off. El Caballero, Shockwave, and Dragon founded a new organization called Echo. They continued to patrol Seattle, regularly making appearances at the recurring May Day protest, but their audience failed to grow to Phoenix-like proportions.
Wait, so what is this called?
The livestream was turned off. El Caballero, Shockwave, and Dragon founded a new organization called...
Cool. Okay, meet the Echo team. Oh, this is esports. Never mind, that's not it. Is this it? This is an abortion clinic. That's not it. This wasn't it. Okay, do they still do something? Beholder. Emerald City Heroes, that's what they're called. Emerald City Heroes. So are they still active? That's the thing. They haven't been active since 2020. They haven't... Okay, here's the actual website. What? What? Wait, what? Chat, I'm not gonna lie here. Chat, when I click on this website, it takes me to a gambling website. They don't own the rights to the website anymore. That's actually crazy. That's actually crazy.
Echo. They continued to patrol Seattle, regularly making appearances at the recurring May Day protest, but their audience failed to grow to Phoenix-like proportions. In May of 2014, Phoenix Jones announced that the Rain City superhero movement was officially over. Jones's statement didn't address any of the aforementioned accusations, but instead cited other reasons for the disbandment. Certain members cannot run 2.5 miles in 30 minutes, Jones stated, or do 5 pull-ups or 25 sit-ups and believe it's okay to carry illegal weapons. Rex Velvet made a Facebook post celebrating the end of the movement, asking former members to air their dirty laundry about Phoenix for a video he would produce. It's unclear whether any of the former members took Velvet up on his offer, but checking Ryan Corey's YouTube page, it appears no such video has yet been made.
Let's see here. He never did. After this video is 4 years old, he never did. He never did. Never took him up on the offer.
Jones, now primarily a solo hero, continued fighting crime in Seattle. His enthusiasm seemed undiminished as the patrol logs on his YouTube channel were uploaded at more or less the same consistency.
Hey, this is Phoenix Jones. Found a guy who was over here at the store, stole some detergent, took off running, clearly homeless. This is the worst part of my job. Stealing is stealing. I'm not gonna let you get away with that, especially detergent. This new way to get high with detergent, I found out. No problem. There's your stuff back, man. No problem. Thanks, man. Sorry about that. I hate that kind of stuff, but what can you do, right?
Wow, you guys are like superheroes, or?
Yeah, we do like kind of like a neighborhood patrol. But,
oh, okay.
Yeah, so be safe, man. Really sorry that happened to you.
He returned to competitive mixed martial arts, fighting under his alias and often accepting match decisions while in costume.
Vigilante Phoenix Jones!
That's
a
crazy.
rivalry between his older brother Karos, which has reportedly existed since childhood, made for good promotion for upcoming fights, and the advertisements leaned heavily on the superhero motif Phoenix had cultivated. The majority of his fan base stayed by his side, offering support on social media and YouTube as he continued to break up street
What's up,
fights,
Jordowski?
catch
How you doing?
shoplifters, and even create a database of stolen vehicles in the Seattle area. But the twilight years of the Phoenix Jones character weren't free from controversy, particularly in 2015 when Jones had a comic book series commissioned about himself. The events depicted were based on Jones's patrol logs and personal journal entries. Many classic Jones tales were included, but depictions of the Nicole Westbrook murder seemed in poor taste. As Jones told Seattle radio host Jason Rantz, he'd submitted the comic book to the Jet City Comic Con, where it was originally accepted, but once it was known the events depicted were real, Jones was asked to withdraw it.
No,
Really?
There were no real major complaints. A couple people came up and just said that, they didn't like it and thought it was too real.
I mean, honestly, if he's a real life superhero, of course that's going to be real. I would have just, Isaac probably would have been like, nah, that's part of your origin story. That's your canon event. Why not?
And I said, well, if you want to read a fake comic book, get a Batman comic book.
The only reason why it might be of distaste is like the family. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe the family did not appreciate that being something that lingers. But you know, it does. It does linger. That's part of his origin story at the end of the day. But yeah, for the family, yeah, that could be a very scary thing that you got to just relive all the time.
Life, and you want to help someone and maybe get the case back out in the news and maybe get somebody to know what happened, then read my comic book.
And yet at the same time, a comic book like this opens you up to the criticism that you might be profiting off of the death of someone. How do you respond to that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm just telling my story, and this happens to be a part of
This is what we got to do. We got to get my friend to make a comic, which if you guys did not know, my friend makes comics. If it loads, I don't know why it slowly loads. This is a comic book company. This is what we've been selling for the past couple of days and everything like that. If you guys want to go ahead and get yourself a copy over here, ! Battle Chi right down over here. They're 25% off right now for the holiday season. Get yourself a comic. If you also ask which ones you recommend, if you're a big anime guy, I would say Battle Chief the first off. If you just like normal comic superhero stuff, you want something familiarity, Black Fist would probably be good and everything like that. My personal favorite, and no, not my personal favorite. It's a really good story though, and I wrote the story. Shockster, that would probably be my recommendation for you right down there and everything.
Story. And this incident is just so important to the person that I became and the choices that I made.
Nicole Westbrook's sister spoke out in support of the comic, citing that it could raise awareness of the still unsolved case. Phoenix's behavior over the years became stranger and more erratic.
Wait a second.
That I made.
Nicole Westbrook's sister spoke out in support of the comic, citing that it could raise awareness of this.
Really? So they were in support of that? Yes, it's hard to listen to the radio, but we do need to find who did this. I'm sorry, but Seattle PD isn't doing their job. Again, this is a comic book. It's real stories from a real superhero. When I do get a copy, yes, I probably would cry, but I do remember that night when it happened. We should try making another character. We have another character that we're going to release. That's the thing. And the thing about Isaac is we've talked about multiple different types of stories. I pitched him a spy story, like a kind of like a spin-off story that's kind of like not connected to the universe, but it's kind of like a background character, if that makes sense. We've talked about a character with no superpowers, just like stories of an Uber driver, a character and everything like that. So we've thought we genuinely do talk about like making new characters or like giving like characters that are like maybe like kind of like have a cult following, kind of like how Impound does it. Like they have a character called Seraph that is a very popular character within the Impound series, that he was so popular that he was able to get his own comic and everything like that, which I thought that was pretty cool. It was like, stuff like that. But Isaac is currently right now focused on getting Battle Chi 3 done, Black Fist issue 2 done, and then there's other stories that are not even in the universe that I can't even tell you guys about that's in the works right now.
Still unsolved case. Phoenix's behavior over the years became stranger and more erratic. such as this incident in 2016 where he claimed to have knocked someone unconscious and left them on the street, opting to tweet at the police rather than call 911. Jones specified that he, quote, left the guy my card so that when he wakes up he can call me if he has a problem. When asked what he meant by his card, Jones explained it was a print of this glamour shot, along with the phone number of his attorney. More shocking still was this post to the r/bodycam subreddit, which shows police responding to a former friend of Jones's who'd reported the hero came to his apartment, his knuckles wrapped for a fight, threatening his life.
I guess last night I hit on one of his girlfriends that he didn't like, and he started slandering me all over Facebook, and then he came here threatening me, said he was going to beat me, piss on my face, and then when she went downstairs to tell him to leave, he said if I didn't come out, he was going to kick the door in. He also said he was going to kill me, that I need to be dead. I have all these screenshots on.
Yeah, he texted him saying that he would
I
follow
have
him
all
around,
on my phone.
would find him.
And kill me.
So
Something was clearly happening to Phoenix Jones, and his audience began to see the dark side of his impulsive personality. By February of 2019, Phoenix hadn't uploaded a patrol log to his YouTube channel in 3.5 years.
It's been 9 years now.
It wasn't a surprise when he formally announced his intention to take a break from crime fighting. But what was surprising were Jones's cynical reasons for the hiatus. I don't think people are mostly good, Phoenix wrote. I don't think I've met enough people I would get shot to save. I don't think people would get shot to save me. I was wrong. Maybe everything I've ever believed in was wrong. When asked to reflect on his career, interviewers were met with a Phoenix who was oddly defensive of his legacy and adamant about his distinction from other so-called real-life superheroes.
So how many crimes have any other superheroes other than me stopped in Washington State?
Well, you're the only one I think anybody's aware of, so yeah.
Okay, so then you're asking me a question about superheroes.
Right.
These guys are going to a neighborhood they don't know, dressed in outfits that are not the same, that are not uniform, with skills that are not good. I mean, handing out food to homeless people. I mean, you are a LARPer. You are a LARPer with a bag of food. I am a superhero.
Now, I could see people like that being like taking that as like a disrespectful thing, but like, yeah, I kind of have to agree with him a little bit. Like, you know, if you're wanting to fight, if you want to actually be like a legitimate superhero fighting crime and everything like that, imagine like the predator catchers and everything like that. You know, they're technically intervening, capturing predators and all that. There was one I saw that someone actually pulled out a gun and got shot and everything like that. You don't know what criminals got. You don't know what these people got. Like, they could have a weapon on them. They could have like dangerous intentions or anything like that. Maybe like they're sick in the head where they'll do anything they can, and if they got to bring a weapon, they'll bring a weapon and everything. If you want to be a superhero, you kind of need to, you know, if you're going to get into this line of work, you kind of need to know how to protect yourself. And then eventually get the police involved and everything like that. You can't just go into crime and just think that you're going to fight someone and you're going to win and you're going to stop it. They could have guns, they could have knives, there could be multiple people. There could be someone actually sick and deranged and anything like that. You got to be ready. So I don't see anything wrong.
Although Phoenix had always displayed a certain degree of bravado, his trademark altruism seemed to have been replaced with resentment and misanthropy.
I put people away. I'm a superhero. I'm the only real one. It's not a joke. It's not a game. We're not talking about the kind of superhero. I'm a real superhero.
Phoenix Jones was retiring with a questionable reputation, but his fans
you're a real
seemed
superhero,
content to
but
remember him for the self-sacrifice of his early years.
You gotta be one.
When he's ready to return, they'll be there to support him. But
see, like, it goes to my same thing where like what I have against narcissistic people. Like, they think they're them all the time and everything like that. And I hate when they keep. There's nothing wrong with saying that you're that person, like you're that guy, because like it's just naturally is you. I just hate when people try to shove it down their throats that you're this person, you're great, you're awesome. No one cares you're that person unless you naturally are at that point. Like, I don't have to naturally tell people I'm a smart individual and everything like that. Sometimes I'll reiterate, it's like, hey, I'm smarter than I am, and sometimes I can appear to be a very smart person, But at the same time, I don't have to prove to people I'm smart. Same thing for him. Okay, you're a superhero. What are you doing to become that superhero? Because in this day and age, superpowers are not real. So you gotta prove what makes you a superhero. Have you actually stopped crime? Well, you have stopped crime. You have a costume and everything like that. But what actually truly makes you a hero at that point? It's not necessarily what you do is like what you are. It's about what you do.
In January of 2020, shocking news broke that would forever change the public's perception of Phoenix Jones.
Which is crazy to think about.
Phoenix Jones, you're a fucking asshole is what you are. You're not a fucking hero. You're
Bro, what is Ghostface doing? Yet.
Okay, then maybe you should. Are you going to behave yourself? Tell me you're going to behave yourself. Say, I'm going to behave myself. Are you going to behave yourself?
That's what I do.
Good. So are you going to behave yourself?
Yes, I will.
Say you're going to behave yourself.
I'll behave myself.
Thank you. Have a good day.
During the months following Phoenix's retirement, his social media remained active and would even occasionally feature something resembling a video log. Jones seemed reluctant to give up the superhero persona despite no longer donning the costume for regular patrols. But toward the end of the year came a sudden absence. The videos, the tweets, it all abruptly stopped. Not known for shunning the limelight, Phoenix's drop in activity was unusual. But fans wouldn't know why until 2 months later, when news broke of Phoenix Jones's latest and most unexpected arrest. As articles from the Seattle Times, Newsweek, and many other sources report, in November of 2019, 2 confidential witnesses approached the Seattle Police Narcotics Division. Phoenix Jones, they claimed, was a drug dealer and had been for some time. Following the tip, a narcotics detective operating under the alias Mike began texting Phoenix with the intent of purchasing $500 worth of MDMA from the former hero. Jones requested $300 be transferred up front to his Venmo account. Days later, Phoenix arrived at the 3rd Avenue Starbucks to meet Mike. The whole interaction took less than a minute as Phoenix exchanged a brown paper bag for the remaining $200 in cash.
What's in there? Is there a cigarette in there? Is that what's buffing it?
Lab testing confirmed the substance in the bag to be what was advertised. The officer arranged a second meeting with Jones but had trouble following through. Jones would postpone or fail to appear at meeting locations even after accepting an additional $500 via Venmo transfer. A second persona was created, this time a female. Laura was more conversational and appeared impressed when Jones asked her to Google him, revealing that the individual she had agreed to purchase cocaine from was in fact a real-life superhero. After a few days of building rapport, a second meeting was scheduled. And at 11 p.m. on January 9th in the Silver Cloud Hotel, Phoenix Jones was arrested for possession of 4 grams of cocaine packaged with the intent to sell, along with various paraphernalia.
Hey, wait, what are y'all doing? No, I'm trying to catch him.
Yeah. Phoenix Jones, shit! What did I do?
Posters on the R Seattle subreddit claimed to have known about Jones's involvement in such activities for years. Anyone who knew Ben knew about his side hustle, one poster wrote. He's been dealing for years and everyone knew it, wrote another.
That's
Many
crazy.
scoffed at the relatively small amounts
Yeah,
of
I've
narcotics
known about
Jones
this.
was arrested for dealing.
I
Some
forgot
pointed
that it
out
was
there
like
were
a
more
long
harmful
yearly
drugs than
thing.
MDMA being sold on the streets of Seattle.
But then we also wonder, like, is that the reason why he became a superhero? Was he just so drugged up that he was destined to become a superhero at that point?
One poster claimed Jones carried other illicit substances, writing, he once accidentally gave roofies to a friend, telling her it was Molly, which means he keeps it in his inventory. In a podcast titled Super Yourself, Dark Guardian host and longtime critic of Jones interviewed former Rain City superhero Midnight Jack, who appeared saddened yet unsurprised by the news.
I've known Ben for years. Like, we're talking almost 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, I've been shot at with Ben. I've been in shit. I've been in street fights. I've watched people die next to Ben. Like, I've seen a lot of stuff go down with him. So the fact that this is who he is now is extremely discouraging to me. And if you're a superhero in the Seattle area, it's over for you now. It's done.
As Jones's video logs and interviews attest, exposing drug dealers had been a prominent part of his crime-fighting efforts. Where had the impulse to enforce these ideals been coming from? Midnight Jack gave his interpretation.
How do you think he ended up this way?
I think that he thought that this was going to work out. He was going to get really famous over this superhero thing. I think that was always the plan. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that he ever intended to not do his job, because I remember him being dead focused on his job, dead serious on it. After the Nicole Westbrook shooting, he started to get more distant and darker. Like maybe that set off something in him.
Midnight Jack corroborated the claims that such activities had been going on for years, with the hero so unabashed he'd been seen dealing while wearing a Phoenix Jones t-shirt. Some found the irony humorous, but many of Jones's fans expressed anger and disappointment at the hypocrisy.
This is a hard one to talk about. Make my mouth dry.
Yeah, it's real sad. Real sad to see someone who kind of like stood up for justice and was a symbol. I mean, I feel like I'm talking about Batman right now, but he was.
Even Jones's arch-enemies seemed conflicted in their victory. Phoenix's booking records were posted to Reddit. Jones had been charged with violating the Uniform Controlled Substance Act, denied bail but given a conditional release. His initial hearing was scheduled for February 3rd. According to the King County records, Jones was found in contempt, spent 11 hours in jail, and released on a $1,000 bail. As of now, information available to the public regarding his case ends here, but the blow to Phoenix's reputation appears critical, as it's uncertain whether any future heroics would be taken seriously by his remaining audience. It seems, at least for now, that the story of Phoenix Jones has come to its unexpected conclusion.
That's crazy. A real-life superhero. Now he's a convicted criminal. But then again, Batman was kind of like that too. He was he's basically a convicted criminal.
Right? I've never arrested the wrong person because I see the crime take place. I watch you hurt somebody. I watch you steal this. I watch you do these things. So it's not, to me, it's more exact justice.
Phoenix Jones has always been a divisive figure. Where his supporters saw bravery, his critics saw misguided recklessness. What many saw as a desire to inspire, others saw as a need for attention. And while his methods and motives are dubious, the influence of Phoenix Jones on the superhero community, despite his repeated attempts to distance himself from it, is difficult to overstate. With more costume heroes on the street now more than ever, many cite Jones as their direct inspiration. The practice has become so widespread that a training camp named the Superhero Foundry has opened in Las Vegas.
Like that. Yeah.
Although according to their training footage, they seem to overemphasize the practicality of knife and tomahawk throwing during patrols. Some have claimed that with the fall of Phoenix Jones, the Seattle branch of the superhero movement is over. According to Midnight Jack, while he and the remaining members still perform acts of community service, their nights of wearing masks and bulletproof costumes are finished.
It's over. It's done. If you still want to go out and help your community, you can still do that, but you're not going to be able to do it in a costume. Walk around, oh, what am I? I'm a superhero. Oh, you like Phoenix Jones? You here to sell drugs?
If this is the case, they will be missed. But with a nightly presence on the streets of Seattle spanning a decade, and actions reportedly leading to over 100 arrests.
That's arrest 187, provable 187 for me.
The Rain City superheroes have shown us what an approximation of comic book vigilantes look like, however skewed they may appear in the real world.
Did you hit her in the face, bro? No, I didn't do nothing, bro.
And it's unlikely the citizens, police, newscasters, and criminals of Washington state will soon forget the sight of black and gold rubber, the hiss of walkie-talkies, and the smell of pepper spray, which marks one of the strangest examples of life imitating art.
I got armor. I went out, I got gear. I got a legal team. Studied the law for 6 months. I treated this like I was going to war.
And forever solidifies the decade Seattle was patrolled by Phoenix Jones and the Rain City superheroes.
If someone swings, everyone's getting pepper sprayed. Think about it before you do it. If y'all swing, someone's getting sprayed. It's better to just walk it off. You got a call on me, right? We don't really need this. This is dumb.
That's what every city needs. Someone just breaking up fights. Oh no, it's not finished yet. It's still coming.
I'd like to introduce Ryan Probert, who has begun providing original music for the channel. I couldn't be more grateful to Ryan for lending his skills to Atrocity Guide. You'll be able to find the score to this video as well as other original music on his YouTube channel, which I'll link along with the social media in the description below.
That's so crazy. Bro, that was an hour of freaking long. That
and they
is
kick him in
crazy,
the face and they start
Chad.
punching him. I pull out the pepper spray and
See, oh man, how they framed the video, I don't know if I would want to interview him at that point. But man, we actually had a legitimate real life superhero and everything like that, which is crazy to me. But chat, I'm gonna end the stream early. Tomorrow I'm gonna be streaming early in the morning and everything like that for Ghostface. So I'm gonna get some well rested. Probably try to finish up this new video and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and raid out to my boy. He doesn't need the viewers. But we're gonna go ahead and give him the viewers, anything like that. Appreciate you guys for coming out to the stream and hanging out with me and everything. If you guys missed out on the JELEEL reaction, dope album. I thought Real Raw was better. There's a lot of good songs in there. Combo is definitely the best song on the album and everything. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and play Combo right down over here. Let's see if I can pull it up actually. Let's go ahead and play good old-fashioned Combo, everyone. Take care, everyone. I will see you guys tomorrow morning for Ghostface on Mortal Kombat 1. Take care, everyone.
Too many women in here. How many women I want? I got the sauce. I'll take a combo with that. Combo, combo, ah, combo, 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 ah, combo, 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 ah, combo, 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 ah, combo, 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 combo. With my team like Rondo. Too many gal them bundle. Nigga like me gon' rumble. Then take them back to the condo. Now I'ma ride out right now. Live your punani, my now. Penny back in spine right now. Big up punani, 9 now. Talo so tani I'ma want me my fiende. Talombo, come here. Tell you sexy yes, let's be friends. Too many women in here. How many women I want? I got the sauce. I'll take a combo with that. Combo, combo, combo.